Hello there, good morning, and it's yet another day on the AM show. Thank you for tuning in. I am Emefa Akyia, and I'm here with
Noella Karen Yali. You're looking really vibrant.
And you look absolutely stunning in that black. And what color is that?
I think it's purple.
Some say mauve.
Shades of purple.
I see shades of purple. That's so true. You look amazing.
Thank you. You look fantastic as well.
All right, this morning, a lot happening. We shall be bringing you the AM news a bit later. We'll bring you some updates in sports. And of course, you don't want to miss news review today on the show with Dr. Akyia, NPP Communications Directorate, and as well Nana Sapon, Movements for Change, and Wanda Madelo, Development Analyst and member of the NDC Communications team. And a little later on the show, we shall bring you big stories, Noella.
Pause for our big stories. Inspector General of Police Christian Tete Yohonu has declared eyes red for upcoming Akyia by-elections and warns all troublemakers as some party members vow to arm themselves in preparation for Akyia. Meanwhile, police say they have deployed 600 of their personnel, I should say, ahead of the 5,000 to be deployed on the day of the make or break. We speak to the political parties.
Absolutely. You want to stay in for that big conversation because Akyia is just, that by-election is just around the corner. And as well, the Sanitation and Water Resources Committee of Parliament is pushing for an increase in the sanitation levy from 10 pesos to 50 pesos to deal with the enormous sanitation challenge around the country. We'll hear from the public on what they make of this move. Will you pay or you will not pay? But unfortunately, if it becomes a law, really, you end up having to pay. Join us with your thoughts, views via Noella.
Of course, phone and all our social media handles. Of course, it's a Thursday edition of the show. Stay with us. We've got some packed show coming your way.
You want to stay as well for the AM show news with Noella.
Absolutely. It's sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. Right after this, we bring you the show. You're welcome back, and of course, it's now time for the AM News with me, Noella Karen Yali. Now, what was once a steady supply of ethically sourced gold has now been choked by illegal mining and shadow markets, leaving local jewelers desperate for raw material. The Jewelers Association of Ghana are warning that exporters are diverting legal supplies while illegal dealers cash in, creating shortages that push artisans to the brink of collapse. Jewelry sector now hang in the balance as skyrocketing cost and uncertain access to gold due to illegal mining menace is crippling production. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
Spokesperson for the concerned jewelers, Nana Yawo Ejesi Kappa, says only urgent intervention and a reliable deal with the Ghana Gold Board can stop the meltdown.
Is his name. Well, with the chain and with the flow, with the demand and supply, it has been challenging lately because we want to ethically trade and ethically produce our jewelry, and we can only do that with ethically sourced gold. So as we speak, there is a challenge, and that's why we are pushing forward that the government, which is the Ghana Gold Board, can come through for us in terms of material-wise, gives us material that we can work with and then maximize profits and maximize development as well. Yes.
When you say challenges, what exactly has been the challenge? Shortage or?
Well, we all know the carnage that the Galamsey, I would say, has caused to this nation. So as we speak, we do not have substantial supply because the companies that were supplying us, majority of them are now exporting. And because Ghana Gold Board was formed, we are now directed to push all the gold to Ghana Gold Board for us to buy from them directly. So we are yet to come in agreement, or we are yet to negotiate with Ghana Gold Board for them to give us a constant supply of gold, which is in the pipeline.
This was reviewed at the Rapport Services and Gold Statement Partners press launch of Gold Statement, preluding a main event in November. The 18th edition of the Gold Statement event, scheduled in Kumasi, is themed promoting the heritage of authentic handmade Ghanaian jewelry and African gemstones. Chief Executive Officer of Rapport Services and Chairman of the Gold Statement, Judy Nakor Kriyam is pushing for value-added jewelry and gold production. She admonishes for broader engagement and collaboration to develop the jewelry landscape.
Anything that is so raw without adding value is of no use to the country. That is why we are still where we are. If we want our gold to benefit us, then the only way is to add value. And that is what we have been fighting for and trying to bring attention to for the past 18 years. We started promoting value addition to gold and jewelers of Ghana since 2007. And if you go through our history, you'd realize that we've had interactions with every government since the past 15 years. Every government that has been in place, we've had interactions with them. We have been supported by them, we have been encouraged by them, but at the end of the day, the step forward that they have to make to ensure that all their nice words come to fruition is not being made. Recently, we heard that His Excellency the President has announced that he wants to set up a gold village. This is not the first time.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yabua.
Now, finalists of the 6th edition of the School Sanitation Solutions Challenge have pledged to become agents of social change after advancing to the final stage of the competition. The students drawn from schools across the country said the challenge has not only tested their creativity, but also reshaped their understanding of how sanitation and hygiene directly affect communities. Now, many stressed or expressed their determination to champion change in their schools and neighborhoods using the innovative solutions they have developed. The following report has more.
The event brought together key stakeholders from both the sanitation and education sectors, all united by the goal of promoting innovative solutions to Ghana's sanitation challenges. WASH specialist at World Vision Ghana, Yao Ata-Ahin, stressed the need for continued investment in young people, describing them as critical agents of change in solving sanitation problems.
And the level of knowledge that the children have displayed today, it tells us that if we continue to mentor them, if we continue to build their capacity, they should be able to support us to co-create sustainable solutions to the sanitation challenges around us and take Ghana out of our poor sanitation situation.
The qualified students who will be heading to the grand finale on Monday, the 22nd of September 2025, shared their excitement with Joy News, expressing hope that their projects would make a lasting impact.
My great initiatives, I would like to put them in place, especially in my district. And I would like to also offer my great initiatives out to the whole country so we can implement them and make Ghana a better place. Because bad sanitation is a dire issue in our country. You always go everywhere, you see Ebola everywhere. So I will try to make a change to that so Ghana can become one of the most cleanest countries in the world.
Well, in Ghana, we have very poor sanitation. So I believe that as generations are going, I believe that the government can put things in place to bring good sanitation because it's very critical for our health and economy. So, and it also requires a comprehensive and multi-phase approach that prioritizes education, participation, and community engagement.
Well, the competition, now in its 6th year, continues to inspire creativity and innovation among students, positioning them as leaders in the fight for a cleaner and healthier Ghana.
Away from that, government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening the country's healthcare system through strategic partnership, particularly with the incorporation of artificial intelligence. Chief of Staff Julius Debra made this known at the 2nd China West Africa Medical and Health Industry Expo, an AI Diagnosis and Project Cooperation Summit in Accra. Mama Visa Fakote has more in this report.
The summit brought together key healthcare players, including the Kolabo Teaching Hospital and Lekma Hospital, as well as international organizations like Hunanza Top Medical Limited and the Ghana Standards Authority. Julius Debra emphasized the government's dedication to improving healthcare delivery, acknowledging existing challenges in the sector.
Government of Ghana is committed to supporting the health community of West Africa Association in achieving its vision of advancing hospitals, healthcare facilities, and medical institutions across West Africa with cutting-edge technologies, modern equipment, and sustainable systems. With AI, disease can be detected earlier, diagnosed made more accurately, and treatment delivered more effectively. For communities in rural and undeserved areas, this can be truly transformative. It can close the gap between the urban hospital and the rural clinic, ensuring that no life is neglected because of geography.
The Deputy Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Caroline Randolph, highlighted the expo's potential for leveraging AI to enhance healthcare services.
For us all at the Ghana Health Service, this platform represents more than just an educational exercise. It is a call to action, a call to strengthen systems, to integrate modern medical technologies, to leverage the opportunities of artificial intelligence that exist, and to deepen our South-South collaboration between Africa and China.
Prince Opokudogbe shared the rationale behind the expo.
The idea is that we want to make Ghana as a hub for medical technology, where we can support our hospitals here in Ghana with various medical equipment when it comes to AI treatment, when it comes to AI department, when it comes to AI medical imaging, when it comes to the medical supply chain. So we are doing this to bridge the gap when it comes to the healthcare challenges we are facing here in Ghana.
Some exhibitors also shared their thoughts on the impact and relevance of the event.
So basically this program actually is giving us the opportunity to speak and educate to clients about accurate and reliable measurement. I've been going around to educate the client around on how accurate and reliable measurement.
And being one of the biggest hospitals in the West Africa sub-region, we have to be represented. If Kolibu had not come, I'm sure it would have taken something out of this fair.
I bring our product here. I hope to find more clients interested in our products. I want to introduce our products to the hospital and the clinic.
The event aimed to foster growth in the health sector through collaboration between local and international stakeholders. Mamavi Sefa-Cortez report read to you.
Now, a billboard that popped up overnight at the Flower Port interchange here in Accra, boldly advertising government no fees stress policy, has vanished almost as quickly as it appeared. The Education Ministry and the Student Loan Trust Fund disowned it. The Roads Ministry branded it unauthorized, and by the time Joy News got there, the structure was already gone. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomayaboa visited Flower Port and has more.
You might have seen this very billboard right behind me on social media, which states no fee stress. And on the billboard, we have the president on it with 3 other people behind it. And on this same billboard, we have the logo of the Students Loan Trust Fund and, of course, the Ministry of Education. Some days ago, the Students Loan Trust Fund came out to say that this billboard, it's not for them. Now, today, which is 20th, August, we saw the Ministry of Roads and Highways issue a statement to say that this billboard has been unauthorized. Yes. We got here and we realized that the billboard had been taken off. According to our conversation with residents in this area, it was 2 in here and there was another one at the opposite side. Now let's listen to what the residents have to say when it comes to this very billboard here at Flower Port Interchange.
It was this early morning we came and we noticed that the billboard has been torn. Because yesterday we are all here throughout, nothing such happened. We did not notice any torn of the billboard. So
how many were they?
They are this side 2. One is here and the other one. But yeah, we noticed this side one has been removed and the other one has been torn.
Okay, we also saw another video on social media. When you are coming from this side too, there was another one.
Yes,
there.
exactly.
It's also not there.
Oh, for that one, I don't notice that it has been removed.
Of course, also sells around this area. Now, Auntie, Endra, oba ina billboard in na ewo.
Endra na ewo. Mi fliabe 8 to 9 na ewo. Ba no pa mi ba be 10 to 11 na ni wo.
Ah, okay. E hanso so na ye 2 ana sense.
2.
There's this Momo vendor just right by the flower pot runabout. Now, mommy, me bacho Endra ube ponena a billboard never.
I know. No.
Now, so and you ano pay or buy it.
And apparently 10, 11 when I noticed a few. Tell me beside my colleague back to say, I don't know why. I don't know if you are no, so we are doing mass. The new time I'll be few. Okay.
Now, we perform with the
Debbie. And so you buy a neighbor, the new time a ball, and if you want to say, new time I feel.
Okay, all right, sure. So, and basically, what she's trying to say is that when they left yesterday, the billboard was intact. But then this morning, she realized that it wasn't intact. The other one has been taken off, and the other part, which is left here, has been also ripped off. We just finished speaking to the residents here at the Flower Pots interchange, and they all seem not to know the genesis and the revelation of the billboard that was erected right here. Just as you heard from them, who brought it here and who took it down is the big question of the day. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Asuma Yeboah.
Away from that, with Ghana's health sector struggling with limited professionals and resources, a UCC lecturer believes the solution lies in technology. At the 15th Conference of Convention of Biomedical Researchers Ghana, Dr. Stephen Moore from the Department of Mathematics urged health workers to embrace modern innovations such as artificial intelligence, stressing now they have the power to revolutionize service delivery, bridge resource gaps, and save more lives. Abigail SL in Kroma has more in the following report.
The second UCC College of Health and Allied Sciences, COHAS UCC, and 15th Convention of Biomedical Researchers Ghana COBRE Conference was on the theme Biomedical and Clinical Research in Africa, Connecting Sciences for Future Innovation. One of the keynote speakers at the conference and Professor of Epidemiology and Global Health, Professor Ellis Owusu-Dabo, acknowledged the significance of the conference and its theme.
College of Health Sciences, working closely with COBRE, chose a topic which is very important. They're bringing the scientific community together. And what they're doing is that essentially they're talking about how we can promote universities' work closely with industry. It is important, clearly, I mean, as I indicated during this speech, that in the end, we are all having the same aim of impacting the society, working closely with government. So if we want to impact society, then why not work together?
Professor Dabo also advocated for the academia to work alongside industry, touching on the low engagement between the two fields.
I spoke about biomedical. This is a biomedical convention and it's the entire health sector. But I may not be right in saying that all of it is under 5%, but I mean, some of it may exceed 5%, but on the average it's less than 5%. Academia, industry engagement is less than 5%. And it's important that we pitch this up. We can only do so, as I say, by bridging the gap. And there are ways of doing so, which I mentioned during the talk.
As artificial intelligence has come to stay in the world, Dr. Stephen Moore, a lecturer at the UCC Department of Mathematics and keynote speaker, urged health experts to adapt to AI and other modern technology.
Of course, the whole idea of AI in health, especially in Africa, is because we do not have enough medical practitioners or health practitioners. So we need to, as much as possible, use tools and adapt to tools within our society that will be relevant to accelerate healthcare. This is very important, as I said. In Africa, in Ghana, we don't have enough medical practitioners. We do not have a lot of specialists to solve really important problems in the villages or in so many places. And this is a good way to advance development and medical research as well.
Since its inception in 2008, COBRE is committed to advancing biomedicine and promoting health in Ghana, West Africa, and the entire African region. From UCC, Abigail Lissel in Kroma reports for Joy News.
Let's bring you some business stories now. When Fitch Ratings estimates that 6 banks operating in Ghana are unlikely to achieve capital compliance through internal capital generation alone. Therefore, they will need to seek capital injections, merge with or be acquired by better capitalized banks, or be granted extended forbearance to allow time to retain sufficient earnings to comply. The following report has more.
Fitch Ratings pointed out that 2 of the banks that remain undercapitalized are government-owned and have already received capital injections. It said it expects the bank to receive further capital support to achieve capital compliance, although these may not materialize before end of 2025. Meanwhile, the banking sector's capital adequacy ratio, excluding the benefit of forbearance, was first disclosed by the Bank of Ghana at the end of February 2024 as 8.7%. It increased to 18.2% at the end of the first half of 2025. This indicated that the vast majority of banks will be comfortably compliant when the remaining 25% of the losses incurred on CD government bonds is phased into regulatory capital at the end of 2025.
Now, some major oil marketing have started reviewing their prices at the pumps in line with the industry projections. It's coming after most of them held onto their old prices, even though it should have been reviewed over the weekend. We have the details on the following report.
Based on industry data, a litre of petrol should have been increased by 3%, while that of LPG will be increased by a little over 2% per kilogram. But that of diesel was supposed to be reduced by just under 1% per litre. However, GOIL, which currently occupies the second position in terms of market share, took the lead yesterday by reviewing price of some of its products. The firm kept the price of petrol unchanged at 12 cedis, 88 pesos per litre. Diesel, on the other hand, went down by 8 pesos to 14 cedis, 88 pesos per litre. Total Energies dropped the price of petrol by 1 peso to 12 cedis, 88 pesos per litre. VAT of diesel also went down by 3 pesos, and it will now be selling at 14 cedis, 30 pesos at their service stations across the country. Shell has kept the price of petrol unchanged. However, diesel witnessed one of its biggest drop in recent times, going down by 44 pesos per litre. But among the top 5 oil marketing companies, Star Oil has kept its prices unchanged. It is not clear for now why most of the oil marketing companies held on to their prices that long, even though the adjustment should have happened over the weekend.
And that's all time will allow us for the news right here on the AM show. Up next is commodities.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports here. I am Muftaro Nabila Abdullahi. The Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is nearly 48 hours away, as about 48 companies assemble at the University of Ghana Stadium for this year's tournament. And this is how the event is going to be kicking off. So from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., we'll be having a 5-kilometer race walk and aerobics session. The 5-kilometer race walk will start at the University of Ghana Stadium, and we will take you inside the University of Ghana Stadium, go all the way up to the BAM Library, and then turn and come back to the University of Ghana Stadium. So the overall champion is going to be awarded just as we did last year. And then from 8 a.m., we'll have the other disciplines. So between 8 and 11 a.m., the football, the table tennis, the volleyball, the tennis, the draft, the chess, the Scrabble, e-sport, bikers ball, free throw, lime and spoon. All these events would also be happening between 8 and 11 a.m. And some of these events are going to be picked live on Joy Prime in the morning on Prime Sports Extra. And from 12 p.m., we'll have the swimming competition where about 34 companies have signed up for that. We'll have the CEO's penalty shootout. We'll have the female penalty shootout as well. And these are also going to be happening inside the stadium as well as the swimming pool. And between 2 and 4 p.m., we'll have the sack race, we'll have the tag of peace, we'll have the arm wrestling, and we'll have the football round 2. At this stage, this is where we'll be having the knockout phase of the football tournament. And then from 4 to 6 p.m., we'll have the relays, we'll have the 100 meters dash for men and women, we'll have the football final, and then finally, the ceremony itself, where we'll be giving out medals to all participants in this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. So join us at the venue on Saturday, August 23, for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. I'm taking you to Nkulenu Industries. Just yesterday, their team was seated there and trying their hands on the e-games ahead of the event this weekend.
Well played. He's taken that really cleanly. Quick running on show here, but ultimately there was no way through. So that one will be full. Nice one. Long back pass. Great vision. There's his chance to lead the counter. Looks to the other side.
Oh, when they run away from the ball. Oh,
knocks it into space. Well, it's a nice idea, but the execution was lacking.
Oh, Wasambeni.
An interesting one there from Nkulenu Industries. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will share with you that of Star Assurance as well. Their team was also engaged in the e-games ahead of the event. As many as 37 companies signed up for the e-games, so that is expected to be very competitive. Last year, it was won by the multi-choice Ghana. They are back again. They are the defending champions in the e-games. So hopefully, they will have a better competitor, and hopefully the best team will be walking away with a medal on the day. But let's take you to the Youth Employment Agency headed by Malik Basintelli. The last time we visited them, they spoke to us about how they are ready for this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. No wonder they are associating themselves with the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me have a conversation with you. How ready are you for this event?
Very, very ready. Very ready. We are ready since day one. And because as for YEA, we have a very good sports team. You know, this is a youth organization, and this organization has so many footballers. Sure. So many footballers. I'm sure after this tournament, most of them will be put in the Black Star. And you know, YEA is led by no less a person than the CEO, Honorable Malik Basintelli, who himself is a footballer. Yes, so don't worry, you will see him with the captain band leading the YEA team. And one funny thing is that I don't know the organization that will be facing YA, but I'm very sure. The moment they see the lineup of YA, they themselves will start weeping because it's not going to be easy.
I have a message from NIA for you. Their CEO is training his team in Barcelona. Why are you training yours?
Well, we are in Benabao. We have titles, we have money, we have swag. You understand? So as for Yaira, you should understand that if he sees the features why he around, he should just run away.
So let me ask this question, right? What is that special thing that you and Basintale are doing in this YA? So as I just mentioned earlier, there seems to be a certain energy surrounding this institution. What is that special thing you and Basintale are doing?
Well, you know, before coming to YA, I've been a regional youth organizer for the Northeast for this is my second time as a regional youth organizer. Honorable Malik has been a deputy regional communication officer for Northern Region, regional communication officer for Savannah Region, and deputy national communication officer for the party. So you've seen that we've traveled around this country and we understand the plight of the people. So going around as youth leaders, the various 10 institutions are under our offices. So definitely we met so many people, we spoke to so many people, and we understand that there were so many issues that we need to do. So right from the beginning when we got here, we know we had a lot of work to do, and we started thinking about how to get YA.
And they started thinking about how to get YA, engage the youth and give them opportunities by providing jobs for them. Now, we go to the camp of the Ghana Football Association. Many people within the football community or the football ecosystem claims that the Ghana Football Association is broke. However, its General Secretary, Prosper Harrison Addo, has denied these claims, saying that the GFA is not broke. According to him, the football governing body have got the resources to be able to finance some of the national teams. However, it is always important to have the support of the Ministry of Sports and Recreation.
By saying this is true.
Are you not broke?
We are not broke.
You have enough money.
Broke. The government finances the national teams, the competitive national teams.
What does that mean? Competitive national teams.
So we have U17, U20, U23, the Black Queens, the Black Stars. Those are the competitive ones. Then remember, we created a pathway. So we have U15, U16. Previously, we didn't have U15. Yes, then we have U19. Then we are even creating U21 for the women, so that there's a pathway for all the national teams. And then they build to the competitive ones. So that's what we've been doing, and that requires some resources. So there, when government is able to help us, we are very grateful. So government helps as well, but the number of national teams too require resources, and we have some partnership which helps, but we pull internal resources to because you need to. The national team building is a very difficult job. If you say you wait and then 3 weeks or 1 month to a competitive match, you can't players, it won't work. Okay. So that's why we do. If you have a U15, so currently we have the U. Then there was another U15 team.
Government doesn't fund those?
No, those are on us, and government supports us. When they can, they do. And we must acknowledge and appreciate the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education. We work hand in hand with them. And so these U15 girls who won the schools competition, yes, they will graduate to U17. So they will come there with some cohesion.
That is true.
Otherwise, when we are building it from the ground, it's very difficult. And we want them to play very well. So the camping period then become extended, and you need resources to do that.
Yeah. So if I have not been that, I'm not been that, you are not broke, okay. We'll leave you with highlights of the GACA top 4 matches that were played last night. Kumasi Asante Kotoko lost 2-1 to Bibiani Gold Stars. These two teams will be representing Ghana in this year's CAF Interclub competition. Harry Ansu scored a dramatic own goal as the Porcupine Warriors lost 2-1. And Accra House of Folk also won 1-0 against Hearts of Lions. That is your sports for now. We'll have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. The newspaper review comes your way right after the highlights.
Third, and then they won with 58 points. So, I mean, not too huge of a difference with these two sides. And I think that they are a bit apart, but we'll see who is a bit stronger here and a chance for
Albert Tamwa with a chance for Kotoko now. Can he get it to shoot? And it's a goal! Albert Amwa! Brilliant goal by all standards. He went for position ahead of power. The ball over the top was brilliant. And the finish from Albert Tamwa, exquisite. Kamara is ready in goal for the Fabulous team. It is rather Gideon Anaba rather. So Gideon Anaba versus Mohamed Kamara. Anaba v Kamara. Who will do it? He goes in and kicks one. It's a goal. Goal Stars have pulled the win for the spot kick. Indeed, it's someone midfield animal for the Fabulous team today. So Henry Antu over the free kick duties for Kotoko in his own half. He rolls one down to Kojo. Set. Back to Henry Antu. Whoa! It's a goal! What a howler! Henry Ansu puts the ball on his own. Kick for Hearts of Folk. This could be dangerous. Lawrence Osei in goal is ready for this. He has got men as well to defend this. Jamina Rocky, the man behind the free kick for Hearts of Folk, together with Ransford Mensah. Mensah and Jamina will try and orchestrate some magical moves for the Phobians. Can they work some magic? Jamina leaves it for Mensah. Comes in a good one. Golazo! Ransford Mensah makes it one for Hearts of Folk. Kick came in.
Hello there, welcome back to the AM show, and the AM show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Now Ghana, let's talk water tanks. Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex Tanks, is the champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle Ghanaian weather. Rain or shine, Syntex Tank has your back. So, my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have a tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex Tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. You can call 0244-335-168 to buy now, or join one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can as well shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. Time now for the news review. A lot happening in the news. We shall review nearly all of them when the time will allow us. And this morning, we're joined by Dr. Akyia, NPP Communications Director. She's not new to the show. Nanaya Sapon as well, Movements for Change. Quite a sinister mind. He's also not new to the show. Wanda Madilo, Development Analyst and a member of the NDC Communications team as well, not new to the show. Gentlemen, lady, doctor, thank you for joining us today. Yeah, the last time you were on the show when the NPP had supposedly granted amnesty to certain people, you had some sinister comments to make. That's why I had to add that when I was introducing you. But it's good to see you all on the show today.
Good to see you.
Wanda, how are you doing?
Very well.
Okay. Let me start with you, Wanda. It's just Thursday, a day shy to the weekend. A lot has been happening already. What has your attention in the news?
Well, I'm particularly excited about the inflation, producer inflation easing all the way to some 3.8 or so. That spells good for the economy, it spells good for the country, it spells good for trade. And if we're ever going to see any proper, meaningful livelihood improvement in our people, these are the channels to admit. And so I'm particularly excited by the turn of events with the CD, with the inflation rates, and then also our fuel prices and all that. So particularly I'm happy. And then also internationally, I'm very happy that Donald Trump is being able to broker some peace between Ukraine and Russia. We didn't know that it was going to be this quick, but I think that some good news is coming along that line. If all the security guarantees that are promised are taken into consideration and all parties will do as required, we should see some stability on the side of global politics. So I'm very excited.
Okay, those are some really why things to be excited about from your economy to outside of it as well.
Very excited because almost all those things does have some impact on the global economy, not Ghana, the global economy. And once there's no peace in the world, it affects everybody. And so that's a worrying trend if you see people at loggerheads and the threat of Third World War, and it's been running for over years now. We thought that it was just going to be Russia, doing their thing in 6 months, 1 month, and it's been on and on and on and on and on.
Okay.
And that we were told some few months ago that is what crippled Ghana's economy, veracity of which has never been proven and all that. So one can only be excited that we're seeing some good news along those lines.
Okay. Doc, good morning again. And what has your attention in the news?
Well, it's something that has been on my mind basically the whole week, and I'm going to read it out to you and explain the circumstances. So this is a post by the Bank of Ghana. It's quite short, so I'm going to read it. So it says, at Convert 25 in London, Dr. Mumuni shared the bank's transformative journey in harnessing Ghana's gold resources through initiatives like the Domestic Gold Purchase Program, Gold for Oil, and the Ghana Gold Coin. Bold policies that have strengthened reserves, stabilized the city, and boosted investor confidence. Solutions are born out of adversities, and Ghana's gold strategy is a testament to that resilience. It was a really nice post when I saw it. I thought we were maturing in our politics to get to a point where we can be honest and not just take on a posture of when you inherit something, everything bad is your predecessor, but everything good dropped from heaven and is a miracle that you've been able to pull off. But coincidentally, immediately after this blew up on social media, the next day the post was edited to remove the mention of Ghana Gold Coin, Gold for Oil, and the Domestic Gold Purchase Program. So I found that to be very interesting and just a great demonstration of pettiness on the side of the And, when my brother Wanda was speaking, he was trying to play some mischief with regards to Russia and with the wars that happen around the world. By first admitting it affects the global economy,
market,
and then going on to say it was used as an excuse. But we have videos, it's on record. They are leading members of the ruling government that have gone to international conferences and boldly admitted the problems that our economy faced as a result of these things, including the assistant president, His Excellency, President Mahama. So I'm just hoping we can get mature to a point in politics where when somebody does right, you give them their flowers and admit that, okay, this thing you did is good for the country, it's helping towards our recovery. And when the things are bad, we can all call it out as well.
You don't trust the Ghanaian people to be able to cut through and see through
that
things?
is actually beautiful. I think it takes some time, but usually the Ghanaians, their eyes are usually open to it. It takes some time. It will shock you the amount of effort and resources that goes into shaping the perception of people in Ghana, especially as something that all of us politicians do. So sometimes it takes some time to be able to decipher the truth out of all the propaganda and the chaff that we put out. So I do trust in Ghanaians that they do have the ability to see through all of it. All that requires is some time.
Okay. Anaya.
Yes, good morning to my colleagues and the viewers. First of all, I would want to extend our condolences to Menshia. Today happens to be the 1-week celebration of the passing away or the demise of the Queen of Ashanti. And today, I think the entire of the country and the world will be looking to mourn with the king and also to sign the book of condolence. Alan Shamantin and the team would be there, and for that matter, our condolences to all the Queen Mothers and the chiefs of Ashanti region. On the global front, I think I would want to go the line of wonder. You see, with what is happening, I have been thinking over the days and over the weeks about one thing, that is it that too much of diplomacy, the use of the diplomatic tools that we have is overrated? Because looking at the approach by Donald Trump, I'm trying to wonder the combination of the tools he's using. He's doing quite well, in as much as I look at him with one eye. He's doing very much well. And so we wish that there would be peace so that the economies in the world would all strive to do better. Locally, what is happening lately in the news is that any time you pick up your phone, there is one accident here or there. And I do not know if it is negligence, carelessness of us. But I think that as human as we are, you should understand that the driver who is by you, behind you, or ahead of you, actually you should take it that that person does not know what he or she is about and that you are in charge. And I would urge that we all become extra careful on our routes. The weather conditions are not so favorable lately, and so we should be extra careful. There's so much, I mean, you're tired, you rest. And those of us who would have to go for refresher courses in driving would have to do that. I think that the companies and the organizations that have employed drivers should take the initiative of doing that. It would help save lives. It would help protect property.
Okay. Well, let's get into the newspapers. Maybe, Doug, what do you have on the Daily Guide?
Okay, so on the front page of the Daily Guide, we have, it actually starts with, we have the men to safeguard Akyia by-election, IGP says. So that's on the Ablekuma North rerun. 8 arrested over violence, NPP demands action. Then we have plans underway to tackle Kumasi flooding, Works and Housing Minister. 2 women remanded over TikTok assault on Mahama. Wow, that's a packed front page. I will do a little on Ablekuma and the TikTok assault, okay, and we can take it from there. The New Patriotic Party has called on the police to deal decisively with individuals who are who perpetrated violence during the Ablekuma North election rerun in order to prevent a similar occurrence at the upcoming Akyia by-election. And it goes on and on. 8 arrested over Ablekuma violence. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yuhonu, has announced the arrest of 8 individuals in connection with the violence that erupted during the Ablekuma North election rerun. The 8 suspects, I'm trying to see if they were named. I do not believe so.
As of yesterday, they
were
didn't have the names.
Okay, but interestingly, at the bottom of this page, there's a photo of one of the TikTokers that was arrested for some comments that were made on TikTok. The two women have been remanded into their custody by the Circuit Court in Adenta. And interestingly, I'm noticing a trend with this Adenta Circuit Court for allegedly making inflammatory statements against President Mahama in the aftermath of the helicopter crash that killed 8 Ghanaians on August 6th. The two, Priscilla Diabrago and another, have been charged with conspiracy to commit a crime and offensive conduct conducive to breaches of peace, contrary to, and it goes on and on. And what I find interesting here is the difference in approach. There's a situation that happened in Ablekuma North. We all saw it. It was well covered by cameras. The videos are all over, quite gory and gruesome, of young Ghanaians that, I don't know, have so much hubris or act in such a way that they knew nothing was going to happen to them. And they boldly went into polling stations to attack members of the opposition party for doing nothing but observing an election. It's been over a month on that issue. We are now hearing some 8 arrests have been made. And now, even with everything that's going on, there's a little mistrust because, funny enough, this is people that have been caught on video committing violence against other people. And they are not named. The 8 suspects are not named. We don't see a picture. There's nothing like that. 2 women speak on TikTok, which, you know, there's always this thought about the difference or where you draw the line between freedom of speech and the responsibility you have for what you say. But when we are in a democracy where we are trying to encourage people to speak freely, I remember one of the things that was said about the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, was that there was a culture of silence or some whatnot, stuff that I found to be completely untrue. But this is beginning to look like a proper culture of silence. Even though the whole country was mourning, we were all mourning with our brothers and sisters from the NDC and the government. And indeed, the whole country was mourning the huge loss that befell us. But the government seems to have time to arrest people for things they said on TikTok. Some are blurry. You don't even understand whether it was said, whether an apology was actually made, whether the person arrested was the one that made the post. You know, it's been a mess, but they found the time and the energy and the effort to be able to arrest these 2 women. The photo is published, the name is published, even her age and what she does is published. But for the people that beat Chris Lloyd, the deputy national organizer of the NPP, for doing nothing, we all saw the video. He was literally just standing there and he was attacked. We saw what happened to Hawa Kumsen. The people that did that, we do not need to know their names or their ages or to see pictures of them. I find that quite strange.
Okay. Maybe I should come to Wanda for you to respond to here, maybe, before maybe you go into what's in front of the newspapers. Except that I'm thinking, Doc, you've said that the videos are circulating, people have seen them, people know who did what. I mean, outside of the legal conversation, what would it then require? Why do we need to name them again if we've seen them, as we're saying?
For the same reason why this woman's photo needs to be here.
Okay.
And then we all remember what happened. Was it last week when a social media activist was arrested in the middle of the night for, you know, we've seen the Rambo style in the approach to curtailing the freedom of speech of certain people. You might not like what was said. It might not be the most responsible speech, but to handle that in a manner that is worse than people that have committed violence. I find that questionable and very interesting. It's something that we should think about as Ghanaians. Are they being treated differently because of a supposed political affiliation? You know, are these people being named and shamed and put out there because they may belong or they may be affiliated to the NPP? And are the thugs that beat Chris Lloyd and Hawa Kumsen being protected because they were sent by the NDC? These are the questions that are running through the minds of myself, and I'm pretty sure they are running through the minds of many Ghanaians as well.
Very fair things to run through your mind. Wanda, do you have any response to this? At least fair.
I have quite a response, even though we've stopped responding to some of these issues. You see, there's a certain pretense that you get from the NPP lately. And that pretense is a bit nauseating. Why is it nauseating? When they were in government, any arrest made by the police, they say, oh, the police is doing their job. And that they are law enforcement bodies. The government does not arrest anybody. The government is not interested in all of that. Certainly, over this short period, they have found their voice. That now when the police make an arrest, it is a government arrest.
But before that, you are just opposing the situation now as unto the previous government. She stayed in the same government, that there are 2 arrests. She can clearly see list and persons, these 2 women. However, she cannot see the list of persons who have been arrested, the 8 persons.
The police do not owe anybody any explanation when they do the arrest and how they publish it, how they don't publish it. The newspapers don't belong to the police. The police that do the arrest, the newspapers do go to their, whatever, to do their investigations and get the pictures. The police never release any statement with videos and pictures of whoever they arrested. So I think sometimes it's unfortunate the way we are quick to malign the police. We are quick to say that they are doing the bidding of government, to the extent that she even said she's seen a certain trend with her dental, circuit court. I think that is on a low blow, to start with, because the police does have law enforcement powers to enforce any law they want to enforce. Ablekuma, they've been shouting and screaming and over the rooftop that no arrests have been made. Now 8 arrests have been made. Somebody is asking for pictures of people who have been arrested. Really? They won't go to court? Do we send pictures to court? We send evidence to court. So for me, it's neither here nor there. The people who made the comment on social media were actually people known already. And so if you mention their name, immediately I can just go on TikTok or wherever, I find their picture and I can publish it. But those who caused the so-called mess in Ablekuma, including Hawa Kumsi, should we publish Hawa Kumsi's image also? Should we publish it? Because you see, one good turn deserves another. In the same way, when you go with violence, you will meet with violence. We are told that this same Hawa Kumsi went to the police station with pepper spray. To do what? To do what? What was in your mind when you left your home with a pepper spray? And so we are not going to be responding to some of these issues. The police will do their job anyhow, anyway, according to the law. And we would back them with all the powers that be. However, let me remind her that when it comes to insulting on social media and arrest, it didn't start today. And I'm just going to go just a few years behind. Under the attorney, they arrested a total of 11 people. And I'm going to mention all of them if she wants me to mention it. What was her conclusion at the time? What was her voice at the time? What did she say about all this at the time? The likes of Bobby and Sar were all arrested under their government for making social media posts. The likes of Captain God's Brain was arrested under their tenure. The likes of Ohiniba Boama was arrested from Holy FM, Power FM, sorry, under their tenure. What did she say? Mensa Thompson of Asepa was arrested. What did she say? And these were all comments that were made on social media.
What do you say to people who say that, or, I mean, people are watching us now. Yeah. What do you say to them? Say that, well, there's some things that happened in the previous government, and this is why the NDC government says that they want to reset.
Exactly.
So they find it difficult when there's a comparison between today and yesterday.
That's why we don't want to do these comparisons. The reason we don't want to do this comparison, it looks as though, oh, it happened in the past, it's happening today. And that's not what we're discussing here. Under their tenure, they told us that because it was the police that was doing their job, we should let the police do their job.
Is that what you're saying today too?
Exactly, that's what we're saying today.
The police
if it was wrong yesterday, let it be wrong today. Don't suddenly wake up and tell us that, oh, yesterday it was wrong and you came to government, so we think that you should do it rightly. Really? What was your position at the time? Has it changed? If it has changed, tell Ghanaians that what you did in the past is bad or is wrong. Then we can agree that what is happening now is wrong. We also believe that what the police is engaged in at the moment is the right thing. There is freedom of speech, but the law did not guarantee you freedom after speech. You take responsibility for the things you say. So please, let's be decorous in our analysis of these issues. Let's also not be impartial. Sometimes the partiality is crazy. It is the way we analyze some of these issues. Media people were arrested under their tenure, right on set and all that. Some only social media posts. So when did the NPP wake up to some grand scheme by the government to crack down on people and all that? If anybody is tolerable, I mean, Ghanaians in their honest view is tolerable between President Akufo-Addo and President John Dramani Mahama. You know the verdict. You know where the verdict will lie. So please, at what point did John Mahama become that, kind of a leader that you can't trust when it comes to media freedom any longer? President Mahama himself has been practicing within the media fraternity for all these years. And we also credit Akufo-Addo for practicing within the law fraternity all this. That's why when he was in government and we saw some of those infractions of the law, we raised our voices. Surprisingly, it was the same President Akufo-Addo who fought this criminal libel thing when it has to be repealed. And when it was repealed, what did we see under their tenure? So we don't want to go into some of this discourse about NDC or the government of the day hounding people for what they say. No, that's not true. In any case, if you go to court, you're not going to be jailed because the government or the NPP or the NDC brought you to court. It will be based on evidence. What's the fear about? If any of these journalists does feel that going to court, they have the evidence to prove what they are saying, it's fair enough. If you don't have it, the law is the law. Simple.
Okay. Nana, you respond, and then we'll come to what's in front of the newspapers.
Yes.
You noted a few things you want to rebut on. Okay. But Nana.
It's interesting how we tend to theorize and to politicize some of these issues. I'm a Christian, and I do not shy away from it. If you read the book of Proverbs 18, the verse 21, it says that life and death lies in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. And so you should be careful whatever you say as a person. In as much as we have freedom of speech does not allow you to have balonious speeches when you have the opportunity. The fact that you would have freedom of speech does not take away responsibility, you being responsible. It doesn't come with irresponsibility. One would have to be careful with whatever you say, even as a person. And you see, the way they use the social media, they forget that we have what we call cyber crime. It falls under it. Cyber harassment, cyber bullying. These are, in my view, serious criminal offenses. Now, how do you go on a live show platform to go and threaten the life of a certain president? How do you go on social media to say that somebody should be killed? What were you thinking? Let us analyze it. What caused the genocide in Rwanda? It was a live radio show. When somebody made a hate speech, that was what caused those 100 horrible, regrettable days of Rwanda. A whole nation collapsed because of one hate speech. And you want us to entertain it? That people can just freely go? And let us understand that.
Is that what you're getting from the submissions so far? I don't think that nobody wants to...
That is what we are encouraging.
How so?
Because if somebody is going on social media to threaten the life of a president, and the law is taking its course, and you want us to believe that it is less of a crime, I do not think you would want us to put an end to it. If it is today he's threatened the life of the president, tomorrow it would be an ethnic group or a tribe, and they would rise up. And then what happens? Let us be cautious. You see, the law does not only hold people responsible or get hold of people just because they want to punish that individual, but to serve as a caution and to also prevent and discourage, be more of a disincentive to many persons who would have the thoughts of it. Yes, you would say that probably the intent of the person was nothing to write home about. The person was just making an empty threat. No. Nobody gets up and picks a phone to make... Are we not ashamed of ourselves today that we have lost culture, we have lost our basic sense of orientation, that anybody at all goes on social media and begins to insult very elderly people, and we clap for them and we say they have followers? And so somebody who has followers goes to Ridge Hospital, does not know what is going on, decides to attack the nurse, goes out there, mobilize more because he has followers on social media. Is that what we want to encourage? Are we not actually over pampering these bloggers and these individuals who are so-called influencers on social media with, excuse my language, the nonsense they are doing?
Okay.
No, let's be real.
How do you feel about the request by Dr. Akyia saying that, well, I'm not saying
whatever that happened,
I'm asking about
whatever
the
that happened with
law.
Howard Kumson was an individual.
Okay.
And I do not think that they have not taken steps to deal with the criminal aspect of it.
Okay.
All right. This is what is happening. Myself, when I heard the news that those youngsters have been arrested and that they have been remanded for 2 weeks, I told myself that 2 weeks there's someone judging 2 weeks remand. Because if they are first-time offenders, they are not bail. It should be a deterrent. People have, you get 1 Ghana CD with an Android phone, and you see how they go on social media to even address individuals, businesses, businessmen and women, captains of industries. They strip them naked. Some have gone to the extent of affecting daily lives. Some persons have lost their jobs. Anybody at all sits on social media without facts, without knowing nothing, and begins to rain insults, threaten lives. And you see them in person, and you look up to heavens and say, boy. Well, let's be real. Let's are we happy with it? When you see them, let's relate personally to these videos and these trends.
Maybe
you get excited when you see them.
Of course not. I mean, my colleagues were violated as well.
How do you go
to
I cannot threaten the life of a sitting president? You see, even if he wasn't president, he's a family man. He's a human being. Where is your respect for human dignity?
Okay. I mean, by this time, we'll be imputing moral lessons in there. But far from that, Doc, the conversation around the IGP and what he has done so far, right? Mm-hmm. Does it give the NPP that confidence in preparing to want to go for the Akyia by-elections?
Not exactly. Words can just be said, but I will come to that. Let me just quickly respond to a few things that have been said. First, I find this sanctimonious campaign by the government very funny. I'm just going through my phone now to see some of the things key members of the NDC, some of them are even ambassadors now, high commissioners, what they boldly wrote on their social media posts. And on this matter, I can agree with your previous submission that we should all be more responsible about what we write on social media, especially the women in politics. Some of the things we get from people that have simply been paid to write, excuse my language, rubbish under your post, it doesn't make sense. People threaten to kill me under my post. I've not seen anybody kill them. I've seen so many posts from members of the NDC, their social media allies, and leading members spreading fake news to undermine key members of the NPP. They write just terrible, uncouth things about His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, about his wife. People have called for Nanado's head. They've called for him to be killed. There are videos of very key members of the NDC singing songs advocating for the death of the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And we are not saying all these things are good and should be continued. But you don't do all of that for 8 years, come into government and want to behave like you're a saint. That's exactly what we are talking about. And to say that the police does not post things with pictures or whatever is also very far from the truth. When Fanti Comedy and Co were arrested, This is the post that was made on the Ghana police pages on social media, showing their pictures handcuffed and a statement and all of that. So it is in their practice, and if they wanted to show us these 8 people, they would have. But I'm not going to go too much into the conduct. But let's not sit here and behave brand new, like all this is happening just came from nowhere. You were in opposition. You told the people of Ghana that the current president was a tyrant. There was a culture of silence. But you're sitting here this morning to tell us that only 11 people were arrested. You've been in government for 7 months or 8 months, and I'm pretty sure you've almost reached the 7. So shouldn't we be worried? It was during your time in 2016 that 3 journalists said really unsavory things about the current Chief Justice at that time, things I cannot repeat. The justice was trying to take his course, and they were granted amnesty. So let's not sit here and behave brand new. Certain things are bad and which they should be condemned across the board. But when in the application of the law in some of these things, it's very selective. That's where the problem is. Okay. Number 2, there was an issue of bail being granted, and we have to start respecting institutions in this country if we want to have any progress. Bail is granted, then the person is still kept in police custody. And I'm sure my colleagues will come up with, again, other things, situations of that have repeated. But as you asked him, and I was very happy about that question, you promised to be better.
Which one of the bail cases are you referring to?
Both anti-comedy and even Sir Obama. In fact, when the last time he was supposed to leave, then a complaint was filed by I think the current High Commissioner to the UK or something, a leading member of the NDC. And I can read to you what the post is, and if you think that warranted that amount. All he said was, Zita, you won't get away with this, trust me, just wait for it here. And this is on Facebook. So if you say just wait for it here would mean Facebook, and I'm not even going to try to explain, but this is one of the things that had him held up. It looks like a deliberate witch hunt, a deliberate attempt to intimidate people and shut them down, which should not be countenanced. Again, we want to treat Honorable Hawa Kumsen, who is a victim in this matter, as some kind of instigator, like she went there throwing blows. When we've all seen the video, I've seen leading members of the NDC over and over, instead of them to show some kind of humanity with the whole process, going on about this pepper spray. But we all saw the video.
But the Deputy IT and Election Director, Rashid Tanko, says that I think a leading member of the NDC visited Hawa Kumsen at home. I don't see why that doesn't show humanity.
Oh, no, but yes, I'm talking in response to what has been said here this morning. Like she went there to cause a fight, or that she caused herself to be beaten, instead of condemning the act and talking continuously going on about this pepper spray. But we all saw the video of how the men lunged at her. So it's not a matter of any provocation on the side of Hawa Kumsen. I just wanted to set the record straight on that. And the same Deputy Director of Election and IT, I've also seen, every time he's asked about this Ablekuma North Violence, the first thing he talks about is this pepper spray. I probably know they sat around the table and found that that's something they can pull on, but it's not good enough. It's not like she went there agitating anybody. It's bad, it's bad. Let's condemn it generally.
We don't have a problem if this is bad to say it's bad. We have a problem with the people who have championing this cause. She sits here this morning and tells us that we shouldn't create the impression as though Hawa Kumsen went to the station to cause havoc or to, whatever. You remember Ayawaso Wesobo? Did you hear of a sitting member of parliament, Sam George, was molested, abused, beaten, and there is a report that stated who should be prosecuted, who should not be prosecuted. The president at the time even went ahead to issue a white paper. Some of the things he actually threw off, some he even agreed to be done. What's the outcome of that? You've been in government for how long? 4 years. Because that election was somewhere prior to the 2020 election.
So
I'm coming.
Can we ever have, just a second, let me just take a second and I give it back to you. Can we ever make progress?
Yes, we will.
In such conversations, because we will never make progress. If it wasn't good yesterday,
we would make progress.
Bad is bad at Ayawaso West.
I agree.
Bad is bad at
Ablekuma North. We agree. The only problem is that they say that the messenger is as good as the message.
So who should talk about it?
Don't be pretentious in such requests. Don't become a Ghanaian all of a sudden.
So if the CPP, for example, as political party talked about it.
If we have people who found their voices at the time, find their voices again today, we're fine.
But not people who pretended. Nobody visited St. George throughout that process. Not one person from the NPP. In fact, there were even cases in Techiman South and all the others that even the sitting president has not even made a phone call to the families.
Same set of facts.
So please, let's not get into this.
Same set of facts. If movements for change,
because of talency, Treponi, and everything that happened before, if you are trying to say that what happened at Ablekuma was retaliation by our
nobody said that. No,
because from your line of argument, you are trying to say because it happened before, it happens again.
She's right here.
We are not Ghanaians.
Did you condemn that at the time it happened? If you didn't, please keep quiet.
You know that
pretend
you cannot tell me to keep quiet
and tell us that something was wrong in Ablekuma.
The hubris of
I moderate this conversation.
You are in government now.
Okay,
you have the right to tell people to keep quiet. Why should I keep quiet?
Okay, withdraw the keep quiet, and then I'll give you the time.
No, I'm not talking about keep quiet as in here. I'm saying that those who make that noise.
Nobody is going to keep quiet.
Those who are beginning to pretend today that all of a sudden everything is wrong with what is happening are pretending, and they should keep quiet.
So I have a question.
Now, go ahead.
My question is, if Movement for Change, for example, is the political party or the stakeholders
those are credible
talked
voices.
about, how differently will you deal with this Ablekuma North revamp?
We would deal with that because that is from an honest view.
How else would you deal with it?
How else we all condemning. We all agree that what went wrong is bad. We already know that. But for the NPP to all of a sudden wake up from their slumber and tell us that, oh, what is happening is so bad that this is the first time it's happening in governance. This is what we are talking about. That's a pretense. If you want to be minded about being genuine, being honest, and being truthful with what has happened, you condemn what happened in the past. Till today, even on this show, I wish you would have said, oh, we are sorry for what happened in the past. It shouldn't happen again. But you have not condemned what happened in Ayawaso. You have not condemned what happened in Teshiman South. You have not condemned what happened in many of the other places. That to the extent that we have even lost lives. You are talking about injury to what about cases where we lost 8 lives in one election? What happened to that?
So why are you starting from there? Why not go far back?
On the issue of bills and institutions working, I just want to say a very good morning to Paul Afoko and his brother Gregory Afoko. And I know Paul he says he's in his farm. I don't know if you make his way to Menchia this morning. And so I believe that we have come to a point where we all are agreeing that we should allow state institutions to work. And we are all agreeing that some of the issues that had happened before and now are not the best. And you see, this is the more reason why we are advocating that Ghanaians should give an alternative, an opportunity to lead this nation. You sounded very much frustrated when there was back and forth, and you asked a very good question, that for how long are we going to go on like this? Would it lead to any progress as a nation? It wouldn't lead to any progress as a nation because everybody thinks that, hey, we have come and whatever we are doing is good. You see, the what he has said. Until you step aside and to look behind, you will not know that what you're doing is wrong. I think that we are learning from our lessons, and Ghanaians will take a decision in no time. We have gotten to a point where even the very young ones who, like us, who are also coming into the arena of politics, things that, listen, we need to defend anything at all that comes because it is clothed in our political colors. And it is very much wrong. I spoke against it when Paul Afoko's brother was granted bail and was refused the bail. At the time, this woman went to Yoko and built a statue for herself. I've forgotten her name. She was the head of CID. I've forgotten her name. I'll try to get it. But I think the viewers would recall she built a statue at Yoko for herself. She was CID boss.
She didn't build the statue for herself.
Well,
Galamsey didn't. But she didn't. See, she was the former person there, but she didn't.
So you see, at the time, a bail was granted. Every single condition of the bill was met. But Yet, the gentleman was refused. He was in the cooler for close to 8-9 years. We spoke about it, so we would have the moral right to speak about it today. That is where it stands. It is high time we take away the hypocrisy in our politics and deal with matters as Ghanaians, and also think that indeed, today as you sit here on this table to discuss this matter, tomorrow you would come back here, and if you have not discussed it properly and another issue in relating to that same matter comes up, you will not be able to speak.
We'll bite you. Okay.
Just for record, Stewart Dankwa.
Stewart
Yeah.
Dankwa, yes, Madam Stewart Dankwa.
You'd allow me to.
Please, just respond to that, and we'll go to what's next.
Very quickly. So I find it a little strange that we resort to a posture of shouting this morning, but I'll go into it. And just on the same tangent you did, by your thinking or by your argument this morning, because something happened in Ayawaso, we have no moral right to speak. We should shut up. Even though we are the biggest opposition party, we should not do our democratic duty, and we should shut up because something happened in Ayawaso. But what they seem to forget, or what they probably want people to conveniently forget, is before Ayawaso, everything that happened. Going back as far as the 90s, there were elections that were so violent that the NPP had to pull out of the subsequent parliamentary election, just because of how much violence was unleashed on us during the presidential election at that time. So don't sit here and act brand new. If you are going by that same analogy, then you should have never had a voice to complain about Ayawaso. But we are sitting here to try and say that we are moving away from all of that. It was after Ayawaso and after the Commission of Inquiry and everything that changes were made. After the killings, changes were made, and now the police don't have any arms when they go to the polling station. And it's something that we all think should be looked at again, especially because of what happened at Ablekuma North. There was a very conscious effort by the NPP to disband all vigilante groups because it was getting out of hand and it was deteriorating, and we wanted to create a situation where we could depend on our security agencies for election security. So don't sit here and act brand new and tell people to shut up because of something. If you use that same analogy, then you should not have any voice at all to speak on this matter.
Okay.
Just for a point of information, the NPP in the 90s, 1992, did not boycott the parliamentary elections because of violence.
Yeah. It was one of the reasons. Are you right now the spokesperson of the NPP?
No. At the time, at least, at the time, some of us were in the NPP.
It was one of the reasons. Yes, and I'm saying that as a rep of the party on this show.
And Professor Dubois and lawyer R.I. did not present
that violence
it was violence.
Why.
That was the reason why they boycotted the 1992.
It's been widely debated, though.
Yes, it's something
widely debated.
I'm telling you,
this is history.
That is one of the reasons.
It is one of
and then if you want to talk about the
90s,
we can talk about Talensi, we can talk about Triponi.
I don't have a problem, but I mean, let's set the record straight when it comes to boycotting of the parliamentary.
I'm telling you that was believed. Yes, it was one of the reasons that went into that. Okay, rep of the party.
Yes, I just wanted to put that.
Thank you.
If you felt offended by my comment, I can take it back. But personally, I'm a very principled person. If it's no, it's no. If it's yes, it's yes. My position on this matter is simple. That the NPP begins to present the Ghana love rather than the party love. You see, and that is what worries us when it comes to politics. Today, we are told that, the NDC is doing some things they don't like. And already we are hearing people say, wait until we come to power. Right in the midst of the discourse, when we are discussing maybe the national agenda or whatever. So right in the midst of the discourse, we have people who are threatening already. In fact, even the Akyia elections that we haven't even talked about yet, what did their national youth organizer say? National organizer say? He said they are coming to Akyia very prepared to defend themselves. Because in their mind, what happened at, what's the name?
Ablekuma North.
Ablekuma is likely to repeat itself. Even when the police have gone ahead to say that there are only 116 police stations in Akyia. But the police are deploying over 600 policemen. That means like 2 or so per, about how many? About 5 or so per police station.
And I think that the NPP should learn to trust institutions when they are not in power. You see, when they are in power, because of the things they do, and sometimes their own, let me just use the word empty bravado, they think that out of power, all of these institutions will pander to their interests. If you got them to do something for you when you are in power, don't think that that's how it's going to be. That's not the standard. Our constitutional provisions, our laws are clear on how some of these institutions should be run, and not pander to the whim and caprices of any political party, be it in government or out of government.
Okay.
So suddenly when they are out of government, they realize that no, they don't wield such control again over some of those institutions. And then all of a sudden they feel naked, and then all of a sudden everything is wrong. However, when in power, everything is right. At what point did the NPP realize that the police are not competent enough to man the elections? We now even have NPP people tell us that the EC should be removed. Some few months ago, everything was right with the EC. So you see, it is the double standards, the double-edged, kind of sword, mouth, it's what worries us as perhaps players within the political fraternity.
Dr. Kwa, 5,000 policemen to be deployed to Akyia, that's some number for one constituency. The NPP still doesn't believe in the police machinery to at least bring some calm if there's any chaos, violence, which we're not expecting.
Of trust, and then if it's funny enough, I do see some comments on social media that now there's been some sort of switch. But for us in the NPP, we criticize the actions of institutions. We try, and especially myself, I criticize the actions of institutions, not their person, not to paint them black in general. So the actions. If the police does something today and is good, we'll sit here and talk about it is good. If the police does something today and is bad, we will talk about that action, because that's what we are supposed to do as an opposition party.
But if you go there defending yourself on September 2, subsequently there are going to be a lot of things happening in this country, and you definitely have to depend on the police. At what point would you ever have the full confidence in the police?
So as I was saying, there's obviously been a breakdown of trust. I don't know if it's that because there's some time has passed, people are forgetting the very terrible images we saw. And it wasn't an absence of police. There was police presence there. In the assault of Chris Lloyd, our deputy national organizer, there was like a wall of policemen standing there. And so it brings some questions to your mind. Were they asked to stand down? Were they outnumbered? Like, what exactly was going on? Because it wasn't an issue of police being unavailable. They were standing there. It happened in full glare of the police people. And with the matter of Chris Lloyd, there was only one policeman I saw who tried to come to the aid of that gentleman. And he was obviously outnumbered. And there were colleagues around. So there's been a breakdown of trust. So if after seeing all of that, it hasn't been too long, it's just a month or so, would you, as any well-meaning and well-thinking person, go into another election having any trust in the police? This is just a matter of relating with people, and trust that is lost. So we would have to see them prove themselves at Akyia if they want that trust back in the system. But obviously, we are not going to allow ourselves to be brutalized just like that. And then when we talk about it, we are told that because of Ayawa, so we saw very terrible commentary coming out of the NDC after the Ablekuma North issue.
Wanda, what do you have on the newspaper that you have?
Ahamawo's Japanese investors, and
right.
That is so much of interest to me.
Okay. Yeah, yesterday we did that news. We brought the update that they're reviewing the GIPC Act that requires that a foreign business would have some minimum capital. They're reviewing, at least make it a bit easy for them to enter the market. There's also another interesting part, Doug and Nana, that there's some APIs that are going to be set for ambassadors or envoy outside the country, so that they can meet a certain level of KPI. Nana, let me start with you. Did you see that news?
Yes, I saw it, but the quick one before I come to that about the 5,000 policemen in Akyia. Akyia has a history, and I had said on many platforms that even considering what had happened in,
want to assure Ghanaians that
in Ablekuma in just recent time, the National Election Security Task Force strategy purely had failed. You understand? And I would want us to all understand that the number of policemen, in as much as numbers matter, that you take to a battlefield or to protect whatsoever you want to do or for the purposes of security does not out or cannot outsmart your strategy. It is your strategy that would work. And so we would urge the IGP to let us understand the reviews that has been done when it comes to election security. Because what happened in 2024, what happened in Ablekuma, just says that that strategy failed. I mean, he inherited that strategy. And definitely the task force would have to sit and review it. You should let us know if there has been some reviews in that strategy that they had presented to our Ghanaians in 2024. And I think it was just a review of it after 2020. And in 2020, you saw what happened in Techiman. So the strategy is what matters. The 5,000 people, when they go and they have no strategy and it cannot work, it cannot work. You understand me? Yes, as she said, we saw policemen standing, watching, looking. People were being harassed. You understand me? This is not the first time. It's happened before. And so we should be looking at the security strategy when it comes to the election. So maybe, the KPIs. Okay.
In fact, before we go to the KPIs, and I brought this up, but I'm just thinking some years ago, before elections, you either have the Electoral Commission do a bit of education, NCC will do some education. Some of the things they say that I've heard is, if you don't have any business at the polling station, don't go there. If you vote, you can go back and all. Now, the questions have been asked that the NPP said they were not going to contest the Ablekuma North rerun. So they are asking, what did Hawa Kumsin go there to do? And I ask this question not because I think she deserves what happened to her at all, but what do we do? Because there's always that cascading effect. And anytime there's election, no matter how much education, no matter how much you've spoken to people, tensions are nearly likely to rise.
Elections are elections. My dear, elections are elections. Personally, I take personal security and personal safety as a priority. Yes, of course. I had questioned the reason why Hawa Kumsin would want to go to Ablekuma. I have questioned why persons who do not have a direct interest would want to go to Ablekuma. You get me? Why would I want to go to Akyia? I don't vote in Akyia. I am not on the ballot. I am not part of the constituency. I am not a constituency executive. I am not a national executive. Probably not part of the elections operations directorate. What are you going to do there? Whatever you want to do, you can monitor it from home. Whatever strategy that ought to have been done would have been done before the D-Day. You understand? So you're going there, all the MPs, former ministers moving there. To what effect? Let's take it this way.
Solidarity.
Should the entire country decide to move to Akyia, would we have space? Because we all have an indirect interest. We all do have an indirect interest. So should all of us move to Akyia, then what happens? You understand me? Let us not. If you have no business there, you have no business there. And this education you're talking about, in fact, they did it. I mean, the police were announcing it on TV and on radio. If you don't have anything to do at the polling station, do not come there and all of that. But we still found people going there. And just to add up, when the police, they are at post and at the polling stations and anybody at all comes there, no matter who the person is, a minister, a former minister, an MP, a former MP, council of state, whosoever, the person should be searched.
Okay.
The person should be searched.
A dog is here.
Surprisingly, you see, when such personalities are moving, they don't move alone. They move with 10, 5, 16, 20 people.
Okay.
They don't move in one car. So at the end of the day, the polling station that is supposed to probably accommodate just a few hands of people for there to be clarity and transparency for a moment, ends up being crowded.
But surely we have conducted elections for years in this country. The police or whatever security service that's put in charge would anticipate such situations.
Yes.
Looking at the real character of elections.
But the point is that these personalities, when they are coming, Oh, they will come and the police would want to, you know, oh, he's a former MP, and he or she is coming, and they come with 3-4 cars full of people.
Okay, Doc, have we been concerned to want to find out why the party said that they were not contesting the Ablekuma North rerun? We still had Howard Kumston go there. Of course, at the base level, she's a citizen. Nothing legally prevents her from going there, but
she's the leading member of the new.
Absolutely.
So you know, there were some issues around the contesting the Ablekuma North. The party had issued a directive, and unfortunately, the candidates thought she wanted to contest or whatever. When that happened, most people decided to rally around her, and it was just on. And I think even the main reason why we went to Ablekuma gets lost. This is a polling station where everything was supposedly done. It's left with 3 polling stations. Give us security, let us collate, and then it turns into let's rerun 19 polling stations. It was the position of the New Patriotic Party that was all illegal. It was a farce, and so we were not going to engage out of principle. But when she decided to contest, you can also not just leave her on her own to the wolves. Imagine if all the people that turned up didn't turn up, and then the violence that the NDC had planned for us was unleashed on Jessica Free. It would have been very unfortunate, and I think the New Patriotic Party as a family would have felt very hurt if we didn't go and support her. Howard Kumston is a former member of Parliament, so the Women's Caucus was heavily supporting Akyia. Yeah. The members of Parliament were supporting her when she decided to contest. And indeed, there were even some national officers that were also sent there. That's how come Chris Lloyd was there. So let's not sit here and behave like it's strange for leading members of political parties to be present at centers of by-elections.
In the contest, not that it is strange. Of course, I would expect that.
Yeah, because there were a lot of
the fact that you were not going to contest is what makes it.
You imagine. So this is always the analogy that we like to give. If you send your child outside, you told the person not to, your kid not to go outside. The child goes outside and there's an issue. Are you going to leave them to their own devices?
Good question to ask.
So it is the indiscipline of the party that caused the mess. Her own narration. If the party had taken a central decision that we're not contesting the election, and your candidate decides otherwise, or your son decides otherwise, and you suddenly found the space to accommodate your son or your daughter's view, what do? Don't you think you should communicate? Should we not even know the people who are your polling agents ahead of time? Should we not even know your plans at the end of the day? So it's neither here nor there. It's the indiscipline of the party in that election that caused the mess. If you say you're not going to contest the elections, and then plans were made, of course, obviously, at that point, the security wouldn't have been dealing with you because you clearly stated publicly that you're not going to contest the elections. If you said you were contesting, then suddenly you would have been brought to the table to have some of those security brief meetings on how proceedings will go on the day of elections. I've been involved in several elections, and you will observe that even in a constituency where there will be an election to be held, the director of security in the area or in the vicinity or within the constituency briefs all the political parties. All the election directorate men are sent there. They are told where the ballot boxes will be kept, when it will be picked up, which reps should be there, who should be on duty, and all that. All these are arrangements that are done prior to the election. So you don't suddenly wake up on the day of election out of your own indiscipline, come to the election grounds with ammunition ready to fight, and then you.
Did she come with ammunition?
Who else came to that grounds with any other tool apart from being assaulted with the hand? She came with an adapted, weapon.
How are we doing this?
So please, we should not get into some of this kind of things. I know that somebody was assaulted.
Doc, help my naivete. What did she go there with?
He should tell us ammunition. She went there with an AK-47. And how is that any justification for a woman?
It is not just holding the pepper spray. It wasn't the case of just holding the pepper spray. The young man who jumped to go and do whatever he did saw her spray. We all saw the videos.
Can you play the video again? We remind Ghanaians and see the comment.
Let's go to the JIP.
It was the comment.
I've already apologized to you, but you're going back to that.
I didn't understand. You are not trying to blame Howard Kumston for being.
What did she go there with?
You are blaming her for being.
First of all,
how?
Gentlemen and lady, I'm on the floor.
Okay, that's fine.
I appreciate. So you see, a quick bite on it. Now, you cannot blame Madam Akyia, the former MP, that's her name, for pushing to contest in that election. The people of Ablekuma were not going to vote for NPP. They were going to vote for her. She only used the NPP as a vehicle.
So why didn't you stand for independence
No.
then?
The investment she has made as a person, you understand me, her integrity as a person, as an individual, what she was fighting to protect. Of course, the party had taken a decision. We said here we are not able to tell or ascertain whether or not the party even consulted her.
She was consulted.
You understand? We are not able to ascertain whether or not she agreed to.
Since she apologized, I like to think that she was consulted.
You see, the point is, well, you have invested in a constituency and a group of people sit and come to tell you not to go and contest. You would know, you feel the pain in it. But the point is, you see, whether it is a weapon or it's an ammunition, it was illegal. We have laws of this in this country. Whether a jackknife, whether a pepper spray, whether a pistol whatsoever, it was illegal. Number two, people take into account history. The history that surrounds the person in question. This is somebody who has been to a polling station and has triggered a sidearm before in her own constituency. And so the history that surrounds her would put people on the edge when they see her.
But it's not your duty. The police is
No,
there.
I'm not justifying the actions. But I am telling you that the history that surrounds
my right brain wants to go to the DIPC conversation, and my left brain is still staying here. But maybe I should move both there because we'll go on, and it's still some few days to the Akyia election, and so we'll.
And let's not. In my submission earlier, I did not say that if you are a national executive whatsoever, you should not go. I said I gave categories of.
I think you made clear that.
And I made that very clear.
Okay, so Wanda. The reason why the initial requirement of minimum capital it was something that existed is, of course, the excesses that will happen when a business starts or an investor starts a business in Ghana.
I thought you were going to have a bite on the KPI.
It's under the minimum requirements. When we finish, we'll go to the KPI. Okay. All right? Yeah.
So there were,
do we need to review it? What's wrong with the law?
There were underpinnings based on which we decided that in order to invest minimum $200,000 or so. The reason was to protect the local businesses. One, you don't want to see a Chinese coming to this country selling agbogbo, because what we call the entry barrier into business is low, and if it's low, anybody can enter. So you raise the bar for foreigners such that they won't find themselves in selling on tables or tabletops or in shops or doing retail business that is reserved for big indigents. So that was one, to protect that. But Ghana is growing, and we're growing in several areas. In the past, at the time we're doing this, was more of an agrarian economy, largely. But today we have an economy that is led by the services. Services in technology, services in other provisions of services. In fact, even in construction, you have the service sector being provided. So what government is trying to do now is not to just lower the barrier or the cutoff point. You are dropping the cutoff point. There will be other institutional arrangements that you need to meet. For instance, you will need, if you are bringing, let's say you are bringing paint into this country, you will need to go through the Ghana Standards Board. You will need to bring in a certain volume, and then you need to do a warehouse, and then there will be demarcated areas for some of those businesses, so you don't go outside of it. It was also based on this we created what we call the free zones, enclave that we had in Tema. Now we have the new free zones also coming up. We also had industrial areas in Accra and in Tema and all that stuff. And some of this was to help them to create an enabling environment. So when the president says they're going to drop, or review that, part of it is to create an enabling environment. Now you can be a foreigner and buy land, as it were. You can lease and do your business, but you can't own the land. Some of these reforms will come into place. Number two, land tenure system in this country is the major reason for which businesses or foreign direct investment don't see a lot of progress, because people have a lot of litigation when it comes to land. That's why under our first tenure, we created the Dawa Industrial Park. That industrial park was to allow foreigners to come in because those lands are litigation free. Government was building warehouses, building systems like we have in free zones for people, for foreigners to come into the country with their companies and don't have to worry about electricity, don't have to worry about water, don't have to worry about the structure, don't have to worry about the land, because all that would have been acquired by government. You just need to come in, pay your rent, and you start business. So those are the controls that will come in to safeguard the influx of foreigners coming into our retail business and destroying our business. Some time ago, you recall that Guta was up in arms with some, other foreign entities over sale of, goods in the market. I think that is right. It's good to leave that for the indigenes to also.
So you believe that in 8 months, for 8 months in government, the government has been able to sanitize all these areas, and it's okay?
I'm saying that it's an ongoing conversation.
Okay.
Some of them are already being done. For instance, when you talk about the 24-hour economy, part of the plank of that is to create an enabling environment, which is electricity, water, land, and all the factors of production. That is being done. What the president is talking about currently is how we can lower the bar so that they can come into some of these spaces that are being created to fill out the gaps.
Okay. Doug, do you have any response to this?
Yeah, but I'm still trying to recover from the shock of the lines of argument I'm getting from the two men that I'm sandwiched in between this morning on this incident.
Why would you say two men? Two colleagues.
No.
We are seated here.
Because we are talking about the assault of a woman. When I saw the video, I couldn't believe it. She was on the floor. She was being kicked in the stomach. It was
it's my meeting. Gentlemen, I need her to be in her very best self to talk about the GIP. So no, she's recovering.
The gender card will not help.
Why is the gender card not going to help?
Why not?
Why is the gender card not going to help?
I'm sitting right by you here.
I think it's
why not?
It should be
I'm sitting right here.
Okay, we are live TV. They should see you when you're off TV.
That's the woman, the former member of parliament, and the former minister.
We're sorry for
it's terrible. And no, you should not try and dance around it. And what was she doing there? And is the person, even if an armed robber or a murderer is arrested, convicted, and the police is sending that person to the prison, they protect that person from being assaulted. How much an innocent? It's bad. It's bad. What we want to see is the arrest of these people. We want to see do something about it, so that we don't keep doing the same thing.
Don't make anybody feel that anybody has endorsed the action.
No. They all listen.
She said that she is still recovering.
Recovering from where?
I'm all for the recovery. We're both recovering.
From what?
A lot of things allow us.
Yeah, so I don't understand. You should look at it who are more compassionate lens. On this matter of reducing again, it's another matter. I don't really understand the stance of the government. On one arm, they seem to want to take a posture of being very tough in negotiations. We've seen some of the posturing when it comes to dealing with the Americans. We've seen social media banter going on between American, I think it was a senator or a congressman and our foreign affairs minister. On the other hand, you want to drop a minimum capital, which is just $200,000, if I'm not wrong, which is, it's not too much for...
GIPC minimum capital?
The GIPC investment.
The foreign direct investment. They are trying to drop it from $200,000 to what? Let's look at the landscape of our country and the business landscape of the country. What kind of company would you, or what kind of business would you want to set up in this country that would require less than $200,000 to do? This is going to do exactly as we are foreseeing. It's going to kick a lot of small and medium Ghanaian businesses out because they are going to come with more technology. And indeed, they are going to come with more than the 200,000 you are scrapping. And then they will muscle Ghanaians out of it. So then you hear Guta come up again and all of these issues are going to come in. I don't think as a country we should continue to sell ourselves short in a matter like this. If you want to go and invest anywhere in the UK or in the US, the thresholds are very high. I think in the US it's even about 2 million or something like that. So if Ghana is set at quite modest figure of 200,000, because I don't see what kind of industry you are going to be able to set up with that amount. If you take it down, what you are doing is creating a situation. Okay, what you are doing is creating an environment where local Ghanaian businesses are going to be muscled out. So I don't really understand the direction that the government is taking with their foreign policy. Are they taking a tough stance or are they taking a very soft baby stance?
Okay.
So let me just provide information. I think that under the GIPC Act,
yes, Section 27, yes.
Yes, it talks about foreign investments must meet minimum equity requirements.
Yes.
And one, joint venture is 200,000. Then wholly owned foreign enterprise is 500,000.
500,000.
And then trading companies, regardless of Ghanaian participation, is $1 million.
$1 million. Yes.
Dollars.
Yes.
All this in dollars.
That's why I was a bit confused when you were mentioning 200,000.
No. We're using the 200 because that's the easier way of entry. So with the 200 is when you decide to join.
It's a joint venture. Let's create
a Ghanaian business.
Let's create the. Let's make people understand the clarity.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Because
that's the area they explore. The reason I'm talking about.
You would understand where I'm coming from. When we present it as though it is $200,000 to have a business in Ghana, all right, and we do not make Ghanaians understand that it has to do with a joint venture. Okay, you would create a wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
He's giving clarity to it. Give clarity to it.
Saying that largely that's the area they explore. That's the area they come to. I wish this is not lowered. The others can be lowered because this one talks about you and I having a joint venture. For you to be able to be part of that joint venture, you must produce 200,000, which is like 10% of the company worth. And that's the area they come because almost all the foreign investors who come to this country come through others. So they explore that angle. But if you decide to do wholly own, you want to own it, no Ghanaian participation, you need to produce $500,000. Okay. And then if you decide to do trading, let's say the paint environment that I mentioned, for instance, you want to come and trade in paint in Ghana, you want to bring it from abroad, and so you're going to play within virtually the retail business, you need $1 million.
That's to make it a lot difficult for you,
exactly.
So you don't take out the local.
So already the law does have a structure that prevents easy entry into some of those spaces.
Okay. Nanayo.
Yes, I think, those who would want to do further research could look into the Act.
The Act, the GIPCI. Yeah.
I think from Section 27 down gives those categories. But you see, there are reasons why we go out there to go and look for investment. And this is based on the policy direction of the government. Any government that comes out with a policy direction would want to find very attractive ways to ensure its implementation. And looking at the way they want to go, maybe they would want to have, they are going the way of industrialization, and so they would want to create more attractive incentives for more direct foreign investment. But there are reasons for the GIPC laws, if we would want to review them in line of trade. Now, there are reasons, one, to protect the local jobs, okay, and the menial trades that we have. If we are not careful also, we would end up losing every single thing. I'll give you an example. Now, when you drive along where we have a lot of foreigners living, okay, the Spintex, the cantonments, you would even find barbering salons, okay, that are being manned by foreigners. Okay, you have very small coffee shops that are being manned by foreigners. These are supposed to be treats for locals. You understand me? Now, this, when we are able to also create more jobs in this country, what happens is that we are able to control the issues of brain drain, whereby persons are trained and they go out there with their skills. And we are also able to regulate, or for lack of a better expression, control competition, unnecessary competition in our market, because these foreigners would definitely and would always have a competitive edge over us. We are looking at a situation where, as just the producer price inflation is coming down, interest rates will be coming down, we are able to handle the forex, And then the banks, with all humility, would be sensitive, okay, would be patriotic, and they would have the nation's interest at heart in order to reduce their interest rates. Now, these foreigners in their countries are getting loans or business loans in the single digits. Okay, so a Chinese would go for a loan from the Bank of China or whichever bank in China for 2 to probably 5%. They would get same in England and in other places. A Ghanaian businessman, a captain of industry, would go to any of the banks, and probably is getting it at 27% or 26%. You do not expect to be able to compete with somebody who is coming into your country with a loan that is paying an interest of 2 to 5%. These are some of the things that we should be looking at. Of course, we have other cards that we can use to be able to win these investors. I mean, if you look at the entire of the sub-Saharan Africa, we are the most peaceful nation. We have a very stable political atmosphere. Whether the elections or these are just packets of violence. But if you compare us to other nations, you think that we have the AFCFTA that sits here and that people are able to take advantage of. And these are some of the things that is actually attracting most of these foreign industries into the country. And with the 24-hour economy, I think that we have stated from the movement, yes, indeed, it is good, but there are other factors that we need to be able to deal with to stabilize them in order to be able to meet these. We want to industrialize, we want to create more jobs. Then we should be dealing with the issues of our energy. We should be dealing with the issues of security. We should be dealing with the issues of actually training persons, apprenticeship persons, to be able to create the jobs for them. Now, we would have these foreign investors come to create these jobs in the country and these industries in the country. And you look at the labor organogram they have in their institutions or organizations. They will tell you that they are going to do what we call transfer of technology and all of that. But I beg to differ. I always say that at the level where that transfer can take place, you don't find the locals there.
Okay.
Okay, but if you're able to create that atmosphere, to be able to put our locals at the top, then there would be...
This review is not going to be difficult if you're able to create the right atmosphere. What about the KPIs? So from September 1?
I mean, for the KPIs, even when the appointments had started, we had stated from the Movement for Change that there is the need for every government to create KPIs for their appointees, just like every single organization. You understand? So that these appointees would not just go and sit. I mean, not just the ambassadors. You would have the MMDCs. When we were doing the one district, one factory, some of the MMDCs were complaining. If you're in a constituency, if you're in a district, they would come and you tell them to go and sit and even bring a business plan or a proposal. Find persons within their districts, and they should sit and identify which raw materials that are in their district and which industry that can be created in their district, that they would be able to locally source 70% of the raw materials for production. It takes them years to come to you. But if indeed they had a district development plan, if it is part of their KPIs that they should be able to have a district development plan whatsoever, okay, to bring on the table. They are supposed to do A, B, C, D. I think they'll be up and doing. Some of these ambassadors, I'm sorry to say, but it becomes more like a holiday scene for them. They go and they sit, especially with the areas where you would not need visas from them to be able to come into this country. They will tell you there is nothing, and they are always back home every time they are in the country. But if they have very tight KPIs, all right, they would set up.
Do you envisage a particular type of KPI you would recommend? What kind of KPI, like create? Because if...
What is the role of an ambassador? What is your core mandate at the basic level? If you're an ambassador to the United States, just like my boss was an ambassador during first time. I mean, look at his achievements when he was ambassador. The oil stuff they did, the agua and all of that they brought into the country. You get me? I mean, you are an ambassador, you're a diplomat. aside the diplomatic role or the international relations that you need to manage, you are supposed to sell your country. How do you sell your country? You're supposed to make your country attractive. You're supposed to be able to attract these persons to bring businesses into your country. If you take Ghana as Africa and make them understand that, listen, if you want to do business in Africa, if you want your business to strive in Africa, it has to be in Ghana. And you begin to market Ghana through the AFCFTA that was spearheaded by Alan Tremantin. If you be able to let them understand that you find all the labor that you need in this country. If you are able to sell our strengths to them. China is China because before they got there, number one, they made the world understand that you would find every single labor in China. And so all the US companies found their ways in China because cost of production was low. They had labor, cheap labor, and all of that. And we have all of these things in this country.
Doc,
what else do we need?
Does the setting of the KPI for the ambassadors or the foreign envoy at least help sanitize the challenge of maybe businesses coming to kick out the locals and all of that? Does it help cure that nearly effect?
And I'll come to that. When the issue of it being a partnership, I think what we need to be mindful of is foreigners that have the drive to come and invest in Ghana are they know the terrain and they are quite smart. So they know you get a lot of tax breaks by having a partnership. So that's usually the route that they pursue when they are coming into this country. So if that is the point that you want to create a loophole for them, I don't think that's the best way to go about this matter. And on the matter of them coming into the country to create jobs, I think one of the reasons why we've been failing as a country from one region to the other when it comes to job creation is because we are not focusing on the caliber and the value of the jobs we are creating. The focus has to move to creating high-value jobs. So the focus in things like this should be trying to attract bigger companies. So you're attracting a company that is worth billions of dollars. Obviously, when they come, they are going to pay their staff very well. And even if you're a security man there, you have a good quality of life. That's when we all begin to grow. But if you are essentially reducing the target to essentially draw in smaller people, then we are not going to see much of a growth, in my opinion. It will be a matter of marking time. With the issue of KPIs, I mean, this is not the first time that this government has come up with some code of conduct or this, that. They came up with a code of conduct not too long ago, and to me, it's almost a joke because their appointees are not living by it. You see them going contrary to it on social media, going contrary to it in their actions. So to me, just writing or giving them KPIs is not enough. We would need to see results of that before we can make any proper analysis of that situation.
Okay. There's this issue of some luxury cars, stolen luxury cars that have been traced to Ghana, and it looks like both the Yoko, Interpol, and FBI have been on it. I don't know if it's in front of the papers, but let's see this one.
It's actually here.
Okay. So what paper is that? The Republic?
That's the New Republic. Okay. Shatawale caught in Yoko's web. I think the full story is on page 2. Likely to be charged for money laundering, tax evasion, and identity fraud. That's interesting. The renowned dancehall sensation and leader of Shatta movement, Charles Niyama Mensah, better known as Shatawale, has found himself ensnared by the clutches of the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, EOCO. The bombshell arrest unfolded yesterday, August 20th, 2025, and even now, Shatawale remains firmly in the spotlight, undergoing intense interrogation, all under the watchful eyes of his legal team. Insiders familiar with the situation have disclosed that the musician faces serious allegations of harboring illicit gains linked to the high-profile seizure of a Lamborghini Urus just weeks prior. Shockingly, whispers suggest that Shatawale's financial streams may be tainted with the taint of money laundering and identity fraud, with an apparent lack of receipts casting doubt on the ownership of the controversial luxury vehicle. There's more, but I think we can leave it there.
Okay. Do you have anything on that? Well, let me give you an answer. So in Ghana, the Police Criminal Investigation Department has recently recovered 43 high-value luxury cars that were stolen abroad and illegally imported into the country between January and July 2025. Now, these vehicles include brand new cars like the Rolls-Royce, Audi, Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz, and were stolen from several countries, including the Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Canada, USA, Germany, Italy, and France. And so out of the 43, out of the 43, 18 of them, the EOCO, Interpol, FBI together have said that they have finished investigating the none of the smoke on why you don't believe it?
Oh no, I do. I'm just surprised about some of these.
Is this new? Maybe it's not new. It's not new, but it's just between January and July.
It is because now we have decided to do everything on social media, and because some of these investigations in the past, money laundering has been done, people have been arrested, people have gone through it. I mean, others are, and you see, my problem is that they do not even give us the entire story. They give to us in bits. So it makes grasping of it very difficult. Yesterday, I think that there was another car that was brought in town. And just when it was brought in town, we also had another news that Shatawale has been arrested. And so, you see, nobody is giving us the entire breakdown.
But that's very noted of investigative bodies. You're not given the entire story.
So, you see, this is an ongoing investigation. Let's keep it away. When you are done and you want to address the media, you want to address and make the people of Ghana understand, then you make us understand.
I think what has become prominent is that the problem has highlighted Ghana as a role of hub for stolen cars. So this was not new. Yeah. Oh, Ghana. I didn't think
that was quite
from Canada. Most of the stolen cars from Canada. In fact, a classmate of mine he bought a car, registered the car here in Ghana about 3-4 years ago. Here in Ghana, he was just driving and they stopped him. They checked the chances number.
It's stolen.
And it's stolen.
So you as a purchaser, you're likely not to even know that the car you're buying is.
So that's
you understand? So it's a serious thing. We seem to be playing with it because probably there is an entertainer involved, a musician involved, and see. So everybody wants to. But these are serious matters.
They happen.
They happen. We need.
What do you have? You want to take a bite on it? We're wrapping up.
I think that is an age-old problem.
An age-old problem.
Ghana, Nigeria have been on the list for a long time now. Years. I remember many years ago when I used to manage hotel. That was business people used to do. I mean, and the flurry with which we have all these car dealer shops is something that's been investigated. Maybe there are no controls on which car comes in and at what rate is even sold and all that. They make abnormal profits. Somebody buys a car,
$800.
And come to Ghana, he's selling it worth about $20,000. So it looks
not
like
Dr. K and I just doing the math in our mind. Well, we're wrapping up our conversation of that.
It's a very booming industry and people have taken a lot of advantage of it.
Okay.
You see, Shatawale is not the only one. He made it his own public by going live and all that stuff. So a lot of things have been investigated. Some cars have been repatriated. FBI has been in town. Interpol has been in town to do their job and all that. So I think it's an ongoing conversation.
This is just to let you know that you should have tighter surveillance, and that's what the Criminal Investigation Department is asking of you, the public. But Dr. Lady, you...
Yeah, just the last... I just on the back of Nane's submission, I hope there's a way they can let us know, because it's beginning to look like it can happen to anyone.
That can happen to anyone. You see, what happens is that those countries, the people go to steal the cars.
And they ship it.
And they keep them in their garages and other places for some time. They have a way of, messing around with their chances numbers. They have a way of doing it. And then they come to sell it. But, oh, you are a hustler, like me. Oh, no. Then somebody offers you to to sell, but I don't miss my thought. To sell
you guys,
a car to you for about $1,000. You would gladly buy it and ship it down.
That is suspicious, or not? But
that is why we should applaud Alan Tremontin for actually
bringing
automobile development policy.
Dr. Akyia, under the NPP Communications Directorate. We've also had Nanaya Osapon, Movement for Change. We've also had Wanda Madilo, Development Analyst and member of the NDC Communications team. This is the AM show. You want to stay? We'll be back shortly. Thank you for staying with us. This is the AM show. Time now for the big story. Now, Inspector General of Police Christian Teteyehunu declares eyes red for upcoming Akyia by-elections and warns all troublemakers as some party members vow to arm themselves in preparation for an Akyia election. Meanwhile, police say they have deployed 600 of their personnel ahead of the 5,000 to be deployed on the day of elections. Now, will Akyia be a make or break? We'll speak to the political parties, and joining us in studio is Rashid Tanker Computer, Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Maybe a little later, we shall as well raise the NPP to respond to a few of the concerns that they've been raising since these by-elections have come to stay with us. Now, thank you, Rashid Computer. I get always confused how to address you.
Yes, Rashid Tanker Computer.
It's just okay for
That's
you.
fine.
Okay. So, before we even get into the nuances of this Akyia election, truly, this is my personal question. Does the NDC really need that seat?
Oh, yes. Let me say good morning to you and your able team here at Joy, as well as the good people of Ghana who are watching us. You see, elections is about development. When you go into election, your aim is to win political power, to develop and better the lots of the people. That is all about election. So when people make choices, they make choices for political parties that have them at heart, that want to develop their area, the country for them, and make the place a better Ghana for them. And thankfully enough, we have a leader, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who is resetting the country. The reset agenda is all over the place. Ajibibia everywhere. People are talking about it for the 8 months he's in office. Unprecedented. We have never seen this type. Chiefs, opinion leaders, pastors, imams, lawyers, all over, all facets of our life, it has been touched. So invariably, communities want to be part of that reset agenda. They want people who have formed part of that reset agenda, that group. So they want choices that will inure to their benefit. That is why we are going in there. Now, if you say, okay, we have this, we have won this number or this, that, so we should cut them off. They want to be part of it.
Surely they'll be represented by a member of parliament. In fact, they were represented by the late Ernest Kumi, but unfortunately, he passed. Does that mean that if the NPP had another representative, the current government was not going to aid development in that?
That's not the case. The issue is about the agenda of the former administration was terribly rejected by Ghanaians. Terribly rejected. The package they brought before Ghanaians to vote for them in 2024, of which Ernest Kumi was part, Ghanaians rejected them. Unprecedented. It has never happened. Since 1992, we've never seen this kind of massive defeat a political party, sitting party, ruling party, suffered. And Ernest Kumi was part of it. Interestingly enough, that constituency, it was part of the constituency they rigged. We were pursuing them in court. Time and again, I mention it, because we were the first political party to be declared winners in Akyia. On December Eve, we were declared winners. Then NPP said they were not going to accept. They connived with some crooked electoral officers over there and refused to recognize our candidate and ran to Akyia, this in Tesano police station here in Accra. You remember that episode? Early morning, before we could arrive there, another person described himself as a deputy returning officer and announced that in the absence of my boss, who is the returning officer, I, the deputy returning officer, declare Eneskumi as a winner. What kind of declaration was that? Double declaration. Okay. Yet the EC went ahead and gazetted that man. And we said, no, we won't agree. So we went to court. We filed a petition, an election petition at Kufridwa High Court, and followed with an injunction. And there was an injunction on him. They went ahead and swore him in Parliament.
At the time of the injunction, he was not gazetted. That's why it wasn't valid.
That's why we are saying that when the matter went up to Supreme Court, yeah, the Supreme Court said, fine, no problem. After the issue of the gazette, they said the injunction, they will vacate it. That contempt matter that was ruled against, they vacated it. And asked him to go back to Kufridwa to continue the election petition because that one was active. And they even ruled, there was a ruling on that one against the NPP who brought that fake gazette notification trying to say that what we brought was not correct. And therefore, they should also nullify the election petition. But the Supreme Court, in its magnanimity, refused. And so we should continue. So when Kufridwa pursuing the matter, unfortunately, the young man lost his life. May his soul rest in perfect peace. He's to be buried at the end of next week or so. We will participate because how can we wish death for anybody? We are all Ghanaians. They are capitalists. We are social democrats. We are all looking for the benefit to develop the country. But their policies, Ghanaians don't like it. NPP policies by nature, nobody likes it. In Ghana, if you even trace your history, go in, the political historians will tell you, when they are in opposition, Ghana develop a lot. So it is always good to confine them there.
So this is just a continuation of the fight to have the Akyia seat to the NDC.
That is it. Okay. It's a continual fight.
We'll come to Akyia, but let's revisit the Ablekuma North rerun elections because, of course, it has informed a lot of decision going forward September 2. So yesterday, the IGP said some 8 persons have been arrested in connection with the Ablekuma North rerun elections. Has the NDC taken a keen interest in these persons who have been arrested, especially because of the accusation from the NPP that most of the people that meted out the brutality or caused the violence are the NDC people? This is the accusation of the NPP. Have you had an interest in these 8 persons?
Well, we have interest in that. In fact, we are very much interested. I was in that meeting when he announced to us that they arrested some people in connection with that episode in Ablekuma North, and that they were even going to arrest more by the close of the day. Mm-hmm. And then that's why he came out and announced the number of people they arrested. We have to congratulate the police for being proactive under a reset agenda government. Very, very proactive. You were all in this country. 2019. Yeah, Akyia was West Wogo. You saw what happened there. Not even a single person was picked. Not even a fly. The footages are bound all over the place. Not even a single person. You saw what happened at Techima. People were gunned down live, shot like that. Election collation center. Not even a single person was picked. You saw it. So there are a lot of things that happened under the past administration. Not even one. That's why we need to congratulate the current police administration being allowed by the sitting president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to do their work freely. They should be congratulated and see that this is Abampa. Better government is now in place. And that they will go after anybody they felt has committed a crime against the state. They will go after that person.
This 8 persons are...
And I'm saying that this one, I had a listen to inform them in the meeting that, look, it takes 2 to tango. The issue the NPP is talking all about, all over the place. In fact, I sat with their leadership here, and they made it very clear that they were not participating in Ablekuma North. They were not going to be part of it. And that they don't recognize the election. They even went to court to injunct it. They said it. Now, less than 12 hours to the election, another group came out and said they are not going to respect their leadership. Therefore, the lady should go and contest. And you have senior members of the party contributing money to defy the orders of the General Secretary of the NPP. That's why I say the party has a problem. And went ahead, prepared themselves with dangerous weapons. Pepper spray is a dangerous weapon, classified by the Election Security Task Force. Nobody is allowed to bring pepper spray into any of the electoral areas that we are doing elections and all that. But leadership of the NPP, in fact, senior members, had predetermined mind in the night that the following day we are going to make sure that we destabilize the election. So they bought pepper spray and put in their bags.
How does coming to an election ground with pepper spray?
Good, that's the question.
Let me land the question.
Yes.
How does coming to that place amount to a predetermination of coming to mar a successful election? How does that, can that not amount to self-defense?
So now we are saying that this country, we can just go out, get all the dangerous weapons you have, put it in your pocket and be walking around and say, because self-defense I'm carrying. Is that the abyss we want to descend into? And senior officers, if you find something like that in me, wouldn't you raise eyebrows? I should know that, look, the position of which I am occupying, I should know what is expected of me, so that others will follow, and then we will do the right thing, and Ghana will be a better place. You can't have a senior officer who will prepare the mind that in the following morning, I'm expecting that this will happen, and if this didn't happen, I'll pull up a weapon and defend myself.
These 8 people, these 8 suspects, are they indeed NDC?
Well, that is the question we have to answer. But the question is, why is the lady walking free?
We'll start with that.
She should be added to this. It should have been 9. If they have arrested, they should add her so that it will be 9. Then we know that we have a two-edged sword.
On what grounds would they be arresting him?
Because she was found with a dangerous weapon.
Who found it? The police found this, or
of course,
or
in her cautious statement. You know, they asked her to come and write a statement about it. She said she was doing it for self-defense.
Okay.
Is that not true? Okay. So who asked you to bring that thing to that place?
Okay.
So that one is an illegality.
Before we get to that, the 8 persons, are they indeed NDC?
Oh, I am saying that is a question we will need to further ask, because they have not written anywhere in their statement that they are NDC people. They haven't written anywhere that they are NDC people who have done it. And I'm saying that the NDC was, look, we have participated in all by-elections under their regime. Kumewu, I was there with my team. Asinov were there. Did we cause any violence there? Did we bring tax to cause any violence there?
Has the NDC as a party conducted their internal investigations to at least, this is not to preempt what the IGP or what the findings of the police will be, but have you, since the Ablekuma North rerun election, have you conducted your internal investigations to at least find out why and how that violence may have happened?
Yes, we did. We did. That day, no, we did. You know, we have crack investigators among us. Former officers, PNDC officers, former intelligence officers, they are with us. We have a team of crack intelligence officers. So quickly, they were commissioned to find out. And it was very clear. Even that day, I even granted interview. And I said, look, our sister should be trained proper, how it comes, about election and its management. Seriously. And when we met the IGP, I even told their team, which came, 3 senior members of NPP, my point was that they should go back and invest in training their officers about electoral processes. It appears they don't know electoral processes in Ghana. Because when you go there, what started the matter was that she went to that polling station and was asking them, why is it that NPP has only one party agent in that polling station? Ostensibly, she didn't even know that it was a parliamentary election. You don't deploy 2 party agents for parliamentary election. It's one. When you deploy 2 party agents, it means presidential and parliamentary. So when it is only parliamentary, it's only 1 party agent at a time. So when you come as a monitoring officer, you only see 1 party agent representing you. So if you come and you are asking, why is it only 1 party, and they inform you that, oh, it's just a parliamentary election, she wouldn't budge.
What does she wouldn't budge mean?
She didn't understand. She said, no, how? They want to cheat them. They want to do this. They are here to cheat them. Why is they allow only 1 party agent for NPP? Throwing her weight around. And so while you are doing that, you are calling for reprisal from the other side. And in any case, she was not even accredited. She didn't have accreditation to show that this is an officer who is being mandated to come and do work for the NPP. There was none like that. So they would have been looking at her as an intruder who has come to disturb the place. And so while they were in heated argument, she pulled out her pepper spray, start spraying their faces. Is it not jack of this thing? What are you calling for?
You have evidence of this?
Oh, it's on your footage. Even I played it, just put it. It was all over. Your video, thankfully, I have to thank Joy. Your cameras were there. They captured it live, and they played it time and again. I don't even need a rocket.
Between the time that she was asking, why do you have just one agent?
Yes.
Why wouldn't the police be the one stepping in, and why would it be supporters wanting to? Why are they anxious about the question?
That is why we are saying that the investigation will unravel. Well, investigation shows that look, there's more to this beating that people are talking than you and I we are looking at. Because
your investigation, what did they reveal?
Yes, our internal thing shows that there was an internal machination against each other, the NPP.
Okay.
Because their leadership said they shouldn't go. Is that not true? The leadership, addressed by the General Secretary, said nobody should appear there. They are not contesting it. Others defied it and went there. Some presidential aspirants even went there and slept in the night. So there was a machination. And don't forget, my sister is an aspirant for National Women Organizer. That one is not, it's an open secret. It's out there. How I come say?
She's aspiring for
National Women Organizer of NPP. It's all of us. It's an open secret. That was not hiding. So it was a battleground for them to showcase each other. So it could have been any of them, this battle thing that they are doing among themselves. The established candidate for NPP and others who want to contest and where they are coming from could unleash violence on each other. They are noted for unleashing violence on each other. NPP, I'm not saying it. We have evidence.
Any of your members as well violated?
Our
NDC members as well?
No, our NDC
None
members.
of them. There was no assault.
We went there peacefully. We didn't have any predetermined mind that we're going to cause violence. We deployed our agents to all the 19 areas. I was on the ground as leading the election management on that day. And everything went on perfect. Just one polling station. It was just one out of the 19. Even when it happened, we quickly rushed senior members, our Deputy General Secretary, Mustafa Bandi, and other senior officers rushed to the scene to support Hawa Kumsit. They even followed up to her house to commiserate with her. Because that showed that, look, we are together. We are doing this together. We condemn the action. But we said we should do further investigation to find out. It could be their internal team because we know them. NPP, their internal matter, it can descend to some dangerous violence, and you yourself, we need to come in to solve it for them. They have done it time and again. Saw the Legon episode where they were beating each other and all that. Anytime they do this, they have that kind of history. So we're saying that we have no problem. Let the police investigate. The police have done their investigation. They've arrested some people. Can't we thank them for this? We should thank them for having been proactive in this one, to show that if you come to Akyia and want to misbehave, we see we have arrested some people. We are going to deal with them. And I'm saying that they shouldn't say 8 people. They should add Hawa Kumsin to make it 9. And we know that they've also arrested her because she caused that issue. She brought that. If we had a pepper spray, I don't think they would have beaten her. Dear, if somebody spray that thing on you, I think if you have your hands well fixed with you, you slap back the person. Because it's a dangerous weapon. It's very dangerous. And we told them that, look, this search they are going to do Akyia. Look, I, as a person, personally, women should be treated with the care they deserve.
Right.
They should be respected. Because this gender thing that we are talking, despite the equality we are all looking, but we should give them that respect. For having carried you for 9 months and bring you to birth, you must give them that respect. But you see, if somebody is giving you that respect, you must also respect yourself. When men are slugging things out, you women, you go and buy pepper spray in your back. What are you calling for? What are you calling for?
What kind of punishment do you think would be very well deserving? Because you condemn the act, which means that no matter what she was carrying or not carrying, or whoever else was carrying or not carrying, that assault, that violence was not needed. So you condemn the act. What kind of punishment are you expecting for deterrence sake?
I am saying that the law is there. The police, they know how to apply the law. They'll go to court. The police don't exert punishment. For them, they will have to send the people to court. The law court will determine the kind of punishment that is supposed to give.
So recognizing that the law exists, it will surely be because of the law. That's why they have arrested 8 persons and say that they're going to arrest one. And there's the same law why Hawa Kumsing is not part. So why are you still calling her?
She's part. And I'm saying that the police must make sure that she's part to serve deterrence to other people who are planning to bring pepper spray to Akyia. if she's not added to this, so that she will also be served as people should watch and see, look, you see how they've dealt with her for carrying pepper spray to a polling station. If you also bring pepper spray over there, this is how you'll be dealt with. That's the deterrence. Is that not what we are saying? What is the meaning of punishment in court? Deterrence is one of a reformation.
What are some
if she's deterred, they will reform her. Next time, don't do that again. So we shouldn't be talking of the 8. She should be added so that when they send them there, before we get to Akyia, other potential people who want to learn from how Akumsing will not learn from that aspect from her. They will learn from an aspect that will be reformative and bring peace to the good people of Ghana. That is what we are looking for. And I'm saying that we have no problem. As a political party, NDC, we are committed to peace. We even told them we are committed to peace. We are not noted for bringing macho men or tax to elections. No, that's not part of it. NDC, we rely on the state security.
Okay.
And we are also mindful of this. And we are saying that the law will take its own course.
Stay with me. We'll get a little later as well into the things that the IGP has said they are doing and moving forward your preparation. But I'll take you now on phone to speak to Henry Nana Boakye, the national organizer for the NPP. And I'd like to think that you're in Akyia this morning.
We are still here. The ground's very good for the New Patriotic Party's candidate, Solomon Kwame Asumadu. He is well known, widely accepted by all, including experts, and he is working hard. It is our belief that by 2nd or maybe 3rd September, he will MP elect Akyia.
Okay. In Akyia today, I mean, you've been on the grounds for a while, and you also say that you're still at the grounds today. The arrangements by the Ghana Police Service and spearheaded by the IGP, between yesterday and this morning, are you still convinced? Are you still headed to the Akyia by-elections, some sort prepared again, as you insist on, protecting yourself?
Yes, let me start from this point. On Tuesday, we met with the IGP and his men. We had briefings from the Ghana Police and also the Electoral Commission as well. The Electoral Commission indicated their preparedness. They mentioned to us that they are fully prepared for the 2nd September elections. The Ghana will briefed us their operational plan. They mentioned to deploy 5,000 men. They also said that they were not going to countenance anybody who intends to foment trouble there. Those were assurance gave. But we very serious and fundamental. We mentioned assurance are or pivoted or built on confidence. We need to have confidence in the process that what they are not mere, but it will be back to action. And for that, the staff, the hoodlums, linked ND, those guys who perpetuated that unfortunate electoral violence in Ablekuma North are still moving around free. Indeed, we saw a statement from the police which captured, and the statement said that they had been arrested. We had not received any update. Indeed, the first unfortunate issue stemmed from the fact that after this unfortunate incident in Ablekuma North, on the 11th of June, it took the police 7 clear days to even issue a statement condemning it, and then also informing us that they have launched some investigation into the matter. So from 11th, the first publication came, or the first communique came out on the 17th. Then the second one came out on the 23rd of June. The 23rd June announced that 2 persons have been arrested. As we speak, we do not know What happened to them? Were they put before the court? Were they granted bail? We don't have any update. So we raised all of these issues. And the IGP mentioned that investigation is still ongoing. And even as at Tuesday and even Wednesday, they were going to make some arrests. So yesterday, we saw in the news that 8 people connected to the unfortunate incident in Ablekuma North, they've been picked up. But we do not even have better particulars. We have not seen the official. Usually that is the modus operandi of the police. If the police intend to inform the general public of something, they will officially write, and then you see it on their website. As I speak to you this morning, the only thing we have heard is just a mere statement from the police that they have picked up 8 people in connection with the Ablekuma North unfortunate incident. That is the only thing we've received. No names, no action whatsoever. So yes, let me say that our confidence in the police is still hanging. And again, my brother Rashid Tanko has developed this unfortunate penchant of trying to justify this dastardly act, this unfortunate act from his own people. And then he wants to climb on this platform of justification by saying that Hawa Kumsin carried the spray. Look, the attack on Hawa Kumsin was unprovoked. Hawa Kumsin saw these attacks coming on her. Unprovoked. The attack on my deputy, the national deputy organizer, was also unprovoked. Look, for him, he was also standing with the police. And these guys aggressively advanced to where he was standing. Sensing danger, he tried to move away from that space. And he was clipped down, and he was pounced on by almost about 20 guys. The videos are there. Images of their faces are there. And clearly, they came out of 2 pickups. And for them not to have been perturbed or their move to be distracted by the presence of the police meant that they have a certain backing. Look, my brother Rashid should be able to condemn that act and urge the police to arrest and prosecute. If he's bold enough to condemn this, I'll be happy. You should say it on your platform that I, Rashid Tanko, what happened that day, I condemn it, and I urge the Ghana police to arrest and prosecute the perpetrators of the Ablekuma North violence. He cannot do that.
I think he's done that this morning, but I won't speak for him. I'd still ask him.
Do it to my hearing.
Well,
because I have been on several platforms with him. All that he does is to equalize, is to justify by saying that, oh, and how Akumsin carried pepper spray and all of that. But he has never condemned the act from these attacks linked to the NDC, and he's never urged the Ghana police to arrest and prosecute these guys.
Tanko Computer, beyond you appearing on our platform today, have you not condemned this act? Violence is violence. You haven't condemned it?
Of course, severally. The party itself, of which
and you have called for the arrest and prosecution of these guys?
I lead the election directorate. We have condemned the action and said it's unfortunate. It was an unfortunate incident. But we are saying that it doesn't take one person to tango, 2. It takes 2 to tango. And I'm saying that if you have a predetermined mind, you are calling for reprisal action. Is that not what we are all been talking about?
Well,
that is the problem.
Nanabi, I have a question, though. So
it is not just condemning. I'm saying that he urging the Ghana police to arrest and prosecute them. It's not just condemning. As for this weak condemnation of the matter, I've heard it from him several times. But for him to boldly urge the Ghana police that they should go in, arrest these guys, and prosecute them, he's never said that.
And I'll be where we are today and this morning, a few days to Akyia elections. Now, my question really is, both parties are interested parties in this matter. The NDC on one breath will blame the NPP. The NPP on one breath would also blame the NDC. The only neutralizer which we must look up to is the Ghana police. But your confidence in the Ghana police is hanging. How then do you want to proceed to solve this matter? Because they are the sole independent body that can investigate and come out to say that, well, beyond what you have seen in the videos, this is our investigations and this is what we have found out. And so if your confidence in the police is not, how would you proceed?
I agree with you. That is why, because we don't have any other Ghana police service. We only have one. And we have relied on them on several occasions. But we had our conference recently, and we engaged them, and they came in, they helped us a lot. That is why we said that these things, because you have recently witnessed the swiftness with which some TikTokers, who made some unsavory comments, unfortunate commentary on their platforms, how they've been picked up, and some have been remanded. But it looks like there seems to be a certain selective application of the law. You see, all of these things would have to, it engenders confidence in the Ghana police. So that is why we are saying that is the only police we are. That is why we are saying all of these things. So all of these criticisms, all of these concerns, all of these commentaries you'll be making is to make the Ghana police better.
Okay.
That is why, for me, I can say that actually I'm happy to hear that 8 persons have been arrested. Okay. What I want to hear is the further and better particulars of this.
Okay.
What are their names? Have they been put before the law court? So that people will know that they cannot perpetuate or cause mayhem, and the law will not deal with them.
So between now and September 2, this request of yours for the Ghana police to bring these particulars that you're asking for, if you do not receive them, you're headed to Akyia by-election as what? Having confidence in what then? How are you going?
Oh, we are there already. I mean, for yesterday and today, I've seen a heavy presence of the police, and clearly they've started some security checks, and I heard the reassurances given by the IGP, which is good. All that we are saying is that we will continue to critique the work of the Ghana police so that we can make it better. I mean, a clear example is this. Although unrelated, but it's an important matter. Why is it that this rough guy who caused this unfortunate disruption at the rich police is still walking around? When a simple TikToker will pass an unfortunate comment, which I will not condone, is picked up. But this rough guy is still working free after 2-3 days, after nurses have raised all the concerns and they've made official complaint to the police. Why is he still working free?
So, Nanabi, what then do you say to people who say, especially for the NPP party, say that they headed to Akyia prepared? I like to use the word prepared carefully in terms of security. Are you putting all of your confidence and security in the hands of the Ghana police, or you have alternative means?
For us, we are not going to foment any trouble. We are not going to engage in any act of lawlessness. We are going to be law-abiding. We are going to work with the police. However, we are going to protect ourselves. Self-protection is well within the laws of Ghana. Whatever we are going to do will never be an infringement on the law. As for that, we as a political party, we will do so.
What does self-protection look like for a day like this on elections? What does it look like?
Oh, that is why I'm saying that but whatever we will do will never be an infringement on the law. It will not be illegal. It will not cause any lawlessness. It will not foment any trouble. But as a political party.
Okay. Please stay with me. I'll come back to you to at least know how you're preparing. I see that you are in the constituency already. About 5,000 policemen to be deployed already. Out of that, 600 have been deployed. You also acknowledged that there's some security checks already happening. And let's know how you yourself are prepared for September 2 for this by-election. Do you think that you're winning this? But let me take the response from Tanko Computer on how the NPP is going prepared within the laws of, they're going there prepared within the laws.
They are not prepared. NPP is not prepared for this election. In fact, they should have withdrawn from that election too. Because everything points out that they are not prepared for the election. When we met the IGP, their utterances and everything shows that they were just not prepared for the elections. It appeared they have given up before even the first ballot is cast. But I can tell you, the NDC, we are very much prepared. And we gave our words to the IGP and his team. NDC will not disturb the peace of Akyia. No, we want development for the place. And so we will go by the dictates of the police. The deployment plan and everything, we'll go by it. We have invested a lot in training our people. My other colleague, Mahdi Jibril, as I speak, is on the ground. We are investing in training. Whilst they are invested in doing propaganda. And then on the D-Day, they will be going polling station by polling station, asking irrelevant questions, creating problems. That is where the problem is coming.
What's an irrelevant question?
I just gave you what Akumse did. That led to all this discussion we are doing. It was not an irrelevant question. If she was trained properly to understand the process, we should have gone there to be asking such questions. So we are saying that we have to, if you look at leadership of the party, NDC, they are very much versed in electoral processes. Hardly you see any of them, our leaders, activists of the party, go polling station and be asking irrelevant questions. And we even know the escalation process. That when I go, I have to meet the presiding officer first, talk to the presiding officer, and then if I don't get proper answers, I know the next person to ask. The returning officer is there. I'm giving them free consultancy. These are the things they don't do when we have problems on election day. If they do all these things, and we all put our hands together, and then assist the police, and people will not bring dangerous weapons in their bag. And then you now come, my good friend, Nanabi is my friend, is telling me I should condemn. Yet he's not condemning the action of Akumse. They are fast to tell us that self-defense. So were the people that she sprayed that thing on their face, were they also not doing self-defense? Was that not self-defense? And so it takes two to tango. And I'm saying that, yes, much as we all condemn it, but they should be smart to also condemn her that next time, don't bring things like that. You are calling for reprisal. And these are the problems I said. So this one, let's all put hands on deck. And I can assure you, NDC is winning the seat hands down. We are prepared for it. In fact, we'll give them the heaviest defeat they've ever seen.
So why are we waiting for the reports of the police to let us know when and how she used pepper spray and all? So why is the NDC seeking to portray that she just started to use pepper spray? Why are we leaving this for the Ghana police as part of their investigation?
We are all talking about circumstantial evidence. Everybody's relying on circumstantial evidence. NPP, Nanabi and his group, they are relying on circumstantial evidence. Anytime they say, bring out that you can see the faces of the people beaten. That is circumstantial evidence. We haven't relied on any conclusive report from investigative bodies to show that somebody was beaten. We are all talking on circumstantial evidence. Is that not true? Yes, we are also relying on the footage that we saw her spraying pepper spray, and on her cautious statement, she said she did that for self-defense. Is that not what we are all relying? We are all relying on circumstantial evidence. And so if they are relying on circumstantial evidence and calling for arrest and all that, we also will rely on the same evidence and call that she should also be called to order.
Well, Nana, thank you for still staying with me here. How are you balancing trying to convince the NPP to vote for your member of parliament, or your candidate, especially because of the loss of your member of parliament, the emotional turmoil that they are going through? How easy or difficult is it trying to convince them to come out and vote?
Thank you very much. I'm not sure my brother Tanko has really been to the ground. I'm not sure he's been there. If he's gone there, I'm not sure he'll be passing these comments. Look, even in your candidate's own hometown, Takrasi, he had to run away from there yesterday. Even in your own Takrasi. That's why I'm saying maybe he's not been there. We don't know what is going on the ground. Look, this is the first time for us in the new patriotic party. We have selected a candidate, and the entire party is united behind that particular candidate. Look, anytime we will lose Akyia, it's because of infighting within NPP. And that is why we struggled in 2020 when we lost. And in 2024, we won with over 2,000 votes. And our candidate is very popular. He is a town person. He is admired by all from both NPP and NDC. And you saw it when NDC had their own primaries. And the former MP and there was this one guy who is also called Asanka in there. That was a huge problem within the NDC after their primaries. And the footages are all over. It is because for our candidate, look, he is loved by the NDC, he is loved by the NPP. He works with them, he dines with them, he's a people's person, he's a grounds person.
Did you anticipate how big this win could be for you? Have you done some projection? There's a little over 52,000 registered voters over there.
For us, the most important thing for us is to win. And that is what we are working towards. And
what will this win mean for you? What will this, do you need this win at all? What will this mean for you?
This is our seat. And look at how they dragged Akyia through the law courts. Somebody who's won with over 2,000 votes. There are some people in parliament who won with single digits, double digits, triple digits. And then Akyia won with over 2,000 votes. Yet they were dragging him. And even when after the Supreme Court had declared him as the winner of Akyia by-election to continue to do his work, they still want this year that he sent us complete documents. And for that matter, this year they should go and arrest him. So they've dragged him over the years, and then this young man unfortunately passed on. So this seat is already our seat. The people of Akyia is going to honor the memory of Ernest Yaokumi. The candidate we have is very affable. Person, his life at all. In fact, yesterday I went to meet some traditional rulers, and they passed so many. In fact, he has been helping them. It's not as if he's now coming to them. He's been with them for this while. So maybe, my brother Rashid, you've not been to the grounds. So pick the information from the people. I'm not sure you have spoken to your people. They would have given you the clear indication. For us, this seat is very important to us because we need to honor the memory of Ernest Yaokumi.
Please stay with me if you have a moment.
Yes.
Please stay with me if you have a moment. I'd like to bring in Victor Dake, his security analyst, joining us via Zoom. But we'll try and connect with him because of network. But I'll come back to you, Tanko. It looks like the NPP, they sound like they're prepared. They believe that the seat is for them. They want to honor the memory of Ernest Yaokumi. They want to continue his legacy. He says he's quite certain that you have not even visited the grounds. And so you won't be here thinking that you're going to win that seat.
You see, because we do submarine campaign.
What does that mean?
He won't see me. He knows it's part of the body cameras activities. When we activate it, they will see submarine campaign. You know how submarine operates. Deep inside water. Before you say Jack, it's up there and fire, and go back again. That's how we will deal with them over there. The moment they see us, we will be declared winners. That is how it's going to be done. You should come, we'll show them. But let me tell you see the 2,000 he's talking about?
Yes.
That's why we're in court.
That's what's in contention?
Yes, they're in contention.
What's in contention?
We know all the polling stations where they were overvoting. Go and check presidential votes and parliamentary votes. About 2,000 people, after voting the presidential, or this in parliamentary and all that, you can't see them in the presidential votes. You can't trace them. Is it normal to see about 2,000 people running away with their ballot papers? Somebody added them to the parliamentary pool And we track it. We have all the pink sheets in each of the polling stations where they were overvoting. That's why we went to court. Wanted to exhibit it before the trial judge that, look at it. Look at this results. Does it make sense to anybody?
But you
This was what they used to declare the
talk of computer, you talk of pink sheets. In the Ablekuma rerun election,
yes.
Ablekuma North rerun election, the NPP maintains that they were just level just 3.
No, it wasn't left. They went and brought their scanned pink sheets. They did their own thing in their offices and brought it and expected us to accept it. Who will accept this? That's why we rejected it. And the Electoral Commission saw a wisdom in what we're seeing. And that's why we went for the 19. When they brought their own carbon copies, well, we accepted it. Because that's the rule. If you have carbon copies, that one will accept. But they brought scanting. And you know how people scan. This is your laptop. We can design things there and bring it out and say it's a scan this thing. That's why we rejected it. But I'm saying that Akyia, we know all the polling stations where they did the rigging. This time they can't. That's why they are hot like that. Because eagle eye, we are watching them. We are going to watch them, match them boot for boot in each of that polling station and see whether you will get that figures. And I can show you, we will compare the December polls and this one, and you will see what I'm talking about. That 2,000 votes is a phantom vote. It doesn't exist. They are ghost votes. And this by-election, they cannot have that luxury. They connect with some officers of the EC. We identify all of them. And that's why we say the EC, if they bring these people, we are going to object. We have the right to object against those people. Because they were the people who allowed this kind of thing to happen in Akyia. And today, they know that 2,000 doesn't exist. We are on clean slate now. And we'll hand them some heavy defeat. That one there, they should be rest assured. We are going to defeat them clean, like how we defeated them in 2024.
Okay, you stay with me. I'll bring in Victor, like a security analyst. Thank you for joining us this morning on the show. If you have seen the list from the IGP of how they intend to provide security in the upcoming by-election in Akyia, do you have any concerns? What does it look like for you?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you. I think by and large, the IGP per his mandate is doing what he can. The resources available for him. It's in the right direction. Of course, you'd expect that you have the security apparatus going through training in expectation for this big event. High stakes, all parties want to win at all costs. A winner takes off syndrome is at place. But security-wise, you need to have control of the area. And control by that I mean personnel, resources, intelligence working, and then your early warning systems, which is at play. 600 men from the start to soften the ground in the IGP's word, and then they'll be followed up with more men later on. How equipped are they? That's what you need to look at. The IGP spoke about flying drones this time in areas that are not accessible. Good. I wish we had some helicopters to also, assist them with regards to flying personnel and deploying them in areas where, if we should have violence. Road checkpoints, very, very essential. I remember with regards to the Akyia North by-elections, I happened to visit there, and there was a lot of road blocks, checkpoints mounted by the security, which was very good. They searched the vehicles, asked you questions and what you want to do in the area and all of that. This time, we should replicate the same blueprint in Akyia. Miles and kilometers before the main township, we should have roadblocks. We should look out for the early warning signs. Who are these young men in the bus being bused? You ask questions. If it is necessary for us to put in some measures on that D-Day, for example, banning motorbikes 24 hours, 72 hours to the D-Day, we should do that. Banning of smoke, wearing, and all of that. Also banning all those private security who wear camouflage that look like, state security. All these things will have to be factored in because we know how some political elites seek the service of this private security as bodyguards and whatnot. And by and large, we look at how the state security itself, personnel who are deployed at the polling stations, do they have some level of weapons to assist them? Batons, handcuffs, pepper spray, and the mobile teams themselves who will be patrolling and then be responding to the calls of emergency. We should look at all that. And let's monitor the cyberspace. Those who want to use that space to misinform and disinform, we should have a process or mechanism that picks all those people out immediately. The political elites who want to use the 4 essays to incite tensions. I think prior to the D-Day, the 4 essay should have a mechanism to, censor all those political elites who want to use that medium to cause trouble. Education sensitization from the NCC to the population of Akyia. This is just a by-election. Just go and vote. There's no need to want to associate yourself with violence. And if we are able to put all these things together and work coordination, interagency coordination, we should have some success.
What do you say to the NPP that says that, well, their confidence in the police is still hanging? What do you have to say to them?
I don't know for what reason they said it, but every citizen that says that their confidence in the police is hanging would be for some reasons. So
That's from the Ablekuma North rerun elections and how they believe that security was provided.
A concise example. So Ablekuma North, what happened? We saw the young men who trooped in there and caused mayhem and assaulted an ex-MP. That is very worrisome. Any Ghanaian, not just the NPP, would have a cause of concern with regards to if truly we can be able to curb the situation. Now, steps have been taken. So for transparency and accountability, and then also for people to trust you, and political parties like the NPP to trust you, then they must see some accountability. The young men, some of them have been arrested, and then the IGP spoke per his press briefing that I think they'll be arraigned before court and whatnot. It's in the right direction. Let's see that to the latter, that these young men will be sanctioned, and that would bring some level of trust back.
Okay.
If not, then it means there are question marks that will still be lingering. But by and large, whatever will happen in Akyia would also test our preparedness for future by-elections.
Thank you so much, Victor Doke, for joining us today. Nanabi, if I have you take your final submission.
We are fully prepared. We are on the ground. We are working very hard. Our candidate is number 1 on the ballot. It is our expectation that the message we are giving to the people will be well accepted. It's going down well with them. We know that we are still going to retain the seat. And I've told you that we are going to fully cooperate with the Ghana police. The police also mentioned that they are going to deploy 5,000. I've already mentioned and that they do not need the presence or the intervention of the military. We have had some intel that some military persons who've disguised themselves in some plain clothes. No. The police says that they are fully in charge of this. They have deployed men, deployed equipment, deployed their own strategy and operations to that effect. And I think that should be done. For us, we are not going to foment any trouble. We are not going to condone any acts of illegalities. We are not going to do so. So I think that Akyia should be very peaceful. Everybody should come out to vote in peace. We have also picked some intel that some people intend to cause some problems in our strongholds. That is not going to work. Everybody should come out and cast his or her ballot, and it will be counted appropriately. So we are okay.
Okay.
And next year will be Annette. Kim Solomon Kwame Asumadu will be the next MP for Akyia.
Thank you so much, Henry. Nanabuachi is the national organizer for the NPP. And I take your final words, Rashid Tanko Computer.
Yeah, I'm happy my brother is now talking about peace. You see, let's all smoke peace pipe. That's what we are interested. Let's all allow the process to go smoothly. We are told they are busing macho men from Kumasi, NPP. Macho men across from Kumasi, that's the assembling point. Assembling them over there to bring them. The IGP has a very beautiful plan for them. He told us in the meeting, very beautiful plan for them. They will not even have the luxury to enter that place, not to talk of it. So if you are some macho man being recruited by NPP to come to that place, be mindful that we are under reset agenda. We will reset you. We are going to reset you. And by resetting you, you see, they have free a lot of, His Excellency has free a lot of prisoners. There's enough space, over 1,000 plus have been pardoned. So there's enough space at Nsawam to take care. And it's not far, and Nsawam is not far from Akyia. These are just dump them in there so that you will learn your lessons. This is not like the time they were getting away with certain things. We are telling them, let's all respect the police structure. But in any case, yeah, let me put this one on record. The fact that we are having by-election doesn't mean that the state should stop functioning. No. The state activity must continue on that day. The governance must continue. So we won't say because we are having by-election, everything must come to a naught. Governance structure shall not continue. It will continue. Things will go on. So if there's going to be arrest of former appointees who are being looked for and they appear there, they'll be arrested. That one is a fact. Governance must go on. People have been, they are looking for them to answer questions for their performance when they were in office. Some are fugitives. They have run away. They are hiding somewhere. They don't want to come out public. They've gone to their house.
Some are fugitives?
Yes. OSP declared the former finance minister. He declared him.
And you think that he can show up at the Akyia election?
They are looking for him. So if he show up in Akyia, they will arrest him there.
All right.
That's why I'm saying that. So if you are a former appointee and your name is on the list, I've been briefed by Mustafa Gbande, my deputy general secretary. There are some people they are looking for. If they appear there, they will arrest them.
Okay.
That one there is a fact. Because the state must continue. The state action must continue, and then we'll have peace. We'll bring development to the place. But NDC, the winning of NDC will turn Akyia green. 5:20, you break it here. NDC is green in Akyia.
5:20 p.m.
I'm telling you.
September 2.
September 2.
Rashid Tanka Computer, Deputy Director of Elections and IT with the NDC, and Henry Nana Boache as well, National Organizer for the NPP. We're also joined by Victor Doke, Security Analyst, on this very important conversation. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today on the AM show. Please stay this more on the show.
You're welcome back. You're still live on the AM show right here on the Joy News channel, and we're about to have an insightful conversation because apparently this week the National Information Technology Agency, they're having your ICT week. That should be like a field day for a lot of the tech girlies and guys. I'm sure you're excited about it. And apparently they're having a week-long celebration, and so we want to find out first of all, what has really inspired this week-long celebration? What are they celebrating? And what would characterize every day of the week-long celebration? And to help me have this conversation, I have here with me Patrick Kelly Atichogbi. He's the head of IT standards. Also, Ernestina Jigodi Achuche is the manager of business services. And Aseye Nyaji, who is the legal manager of the NITA. Gentlemen and ladies, you're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. You're excited, yeah? When are we having this ICT celebration? Next week or this week?
It's next week.
Next week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, why a week-long event dedicated to ICT? But before that, for those of us hearing about the NITA for the first time, tell us about the NITA.
Okay, so thank you very much for this opportunity. I'll just go straight to the point. So NITA is the National IT Agency, and it was formed under the Act of Parliament. So we have an act that's Act 771 that enables NITA to operate. Our core mandate is to ensure we sanitize ICT in Ghana, right? So we don't just want anybody to just get up and do what they want to do in terms of ICT. So we come up with policies, standards, and frameworks to ensure that ICT is well sanitized within the country. So we've been in existence since 2008.
I see. Awesome.
And we are under the Ministry of Communications.
Okay, so you work hand in hand with the ministry?
Yes, it's an agency under the ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
basically about it.
All right. So, and what's the idea behind this, big 1 week celebration of ICT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole idea is to, how do you call it? Transform our trade system.
Okay.
We want to digitize our trade system. Yeah. So the focus this year is Ghana as African digital trade hub. We'll dive into policy making, partnership, and innovation.
Okay.
So
do we have
the main
a theme?
focus this year is digital trade.
Okay. And do we have a theme?
Yes, that's it.
That digital trade.
Yeah. Ghana as African digital trade hub.
Okay.
And we'll be looking at innovations, policy making, and partnership.
But why that focus into?
Okay, we can boldly say that now the whole world is moving to technology.
Right.
Or technology is driving the world.
Right.
So we can't leave trade behind. We don't have to leave anything behind. We are bringing trade along. And then looking at the opportunity Ghana is having is we have the AFTA secretariatship in Ghana. So NITA, we want to take the advantage and bring all the African countries together when it comes to trade. So that is why we are focusing on that. Because looking at Ghana, we have 1.5 million people. And then if you're a service provider or you're a trader, you only trade within Ghana. We don't go across our borders. So this year, we want to go across our borders because the whole world, we have like 1.5 million or 1.3 billion in the world. So we want to go across our borders and then be able to reach out to other countries. That is why we are looking at the digital trade hub this year.
We're going to expatiate on that further, but you have dedicated a week to this celebration. Yes. What are going to be some of the highlights? I hear there are things like the PKI, Africa PKI Consortium. Gov said, what are those?
Yes, so for the African PKI Consortium, so Ghana has in a couple of years ago, we launched the PKI routes, which is the public key infrastructure. So that's is a way of certifying documents that come out. You know that, let's say if you go to university, if you need your certificates to be authenticated, there's no way until you have like a certified true copy. But now this PKI route helps you sign digitally each document. So it's...
So is it like an app?
No, it's not an app. It's a software, a software system. So even with our Ghana national ID card, the Ghana card, you see that when you go to banks, you just give them the number and then they input it and then your details come up. So that's some of the things that we want to implement. So with this PKI system, you'll be digitally signing and certifying things, which will give it an authenticity in the global world. So even with our recent e-passports, that was the biometric passports, it was one of the things that the PKI, so it was digitally signed with the PKI, which gives a level of authenticity and security to it. So that when you go to the international world, it gives some level of credibility to the document. So now if you are applying for schools outside, all they need to do is type your certificate details and then it pops up. You don't now need to go to the university to give information or for them to authenticate with the university. Once it's digitally captured, once the certificate number is inputted, it comes up and it shows that this is an authentic certificate. So this is what we are seeking to expand on. So once you bring the African, most of the African countries on board, we talk about PKI, expanding PKI on the African continent on an international level, not limiting it just to Ghana, but expanding it on an international level.
And tell us about the e-commerce book guide that you have. Break that down. What's that about?
Okay, so we intend to come up with a framework. So you realize that most people...
So it's not already done.
It's in the pipeline. Okay. Yeah, it's still in the pipeline. So you realize that most people purchase things online, especially now. We have Instagram vendors. You can't really authenticate the kind of people that are offering those services. But with this PKI, the e-commerce framework, you are going to have like a consolidated list of people offering e-commerce services. So you can authenticate that this is a verified vendor. This person has some level of certification or authentication from the National Information Technology Agency. So it brings all those providing e-commerce services on one platform. So we have Tonaton, we have Jumia, we have all these things. We are bringing all of them on board on one platform where you can verify, okay, this is a legit business operator or this is not a legit business operator. So you get to know the kind of people. It's just like how Bank of Ghana has a list of fintechs on their portal. So when you go there, you know that this fintech service provider is certified by Bank of Ghana to provide certain services. We have the same for banks, that these banks are under the Bank of Ghana and they provide certain services. So it's the same for the e-commerce. So we seek to bring all e-commerce vendors together. So the framework is going to explain how exactly we are going to implement that.
Awesome. But let's stay a little bit there and talk about cyber security. I mean, it has become like a big issue. Cybersecurity, data breaches. A lot of citizens, a lot of businesses are concerned about the safety of your data and privacy, right? You've mentioned PKI, you've mentioned GovCert, but beyond that, how are you helping to build a system online that can make people have trust in our digital, space?
Yeah, so I think that's why we are actually having this conversation. And you mentioned trust, which is going to be the conversation on the day 2 of the ICT week. But talking about the cybersecurity, there's an agency mandated to handle cybersecurity in Ghana. There's also an agency that's mandated to handle data protection, which are all agencies under the sector of the Communications Ministry. So when we talk about cybersecurity, data protection, and all that, we have day 3 that talks about collaborative regulations, all right? So we are going to work with the cybersecurity, we are going to work with the data protection agency and see how best we can secure all this infrastructure to ensure that people can trade digitally safely and privately to prevent these cyber attacks and to prevent thefts and all that from the various cyber crimes or cyber attackers.
And let's progress the conversation a little bit. So we've seen a big push by government when it comes to digitization. And you mentioned earlier, obviously, we are in a digital era. And so it's more prudent and it makes more sense that a lot of people would want to tool the technology lane. But there are a lot of Ghanaians, normal Ghanaians, who still struggle with digital literacy. They don't know how to go about, services, especially on the app. Recently, we started having a conversation about how to digitize our road tolling and all of that, and we had a section of drivers, complain about, and we can't, find our way or navigate, our way around apps and smartphones and all of that. What are we doing to ensure, as your agency, NITA or NITA, what are you doing to ensure that you contribute to ensuring that the policy, ICT policies that have been formulated, trickles down to the ordinary Ghanaian where they are sensitized, they are educated enough, and so on?
Okay, so NITA is responsible for creating an environment for ease of use of ICT. And as part of our mandates, we do some capacity building to a level of extent, even though we have an agency which is also under the Ministry of Communications, as the Kofi Annan ICT Training Center, also at RAGE. But NITA works in building capacity of most of these activities, or most of when it comes to digital literacy. You cannot just come up with policies without doing some capacity building. You don't just come up with the policies and then drop it on the individuals.
Right.
We have some standards that we have developed in the agency that talk about various aspects when it comes to ICT. And anytime we come up with standards, it is part of the process to ensure that we build the capacity of the various users of these frameworks and standards to let them understand the relevance of it. If you are not carrying people along when it comes to these things, it's just going to be a white elephant. And
right. Absolutely.
And in technology, we have something more like the people, the technology, and the processes. So you can have the technology, you can have the processes, but if you don't put the people to to come into these two other areas is just going to be a white elephant. So NITA doesn't just come up with the policies or standards or frameworks, but we also build the capacity of the various users in the space to let them understand that these are the things that we are going to do. I mean, talking about change management, sometimes when people are used to one thing, it's very hard. You look at when mobile money came, the very early days, lots of people were not sure about it, but I mean, it is a big change that has improved. So we are seeing more capacity building to let people understand its importance. So NITA also does this, and it is one of the reasons why we're having this ICT week, to ensure that people come together and understand that we need to do all these things and do it efficiently.
Okay, so quickly, walk us through the week-long celebration. What are we doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Who's taking that?
On Monday, we have the speeches from our influentials in the industry. From after, we have from Smart Africa, we have from UDNP, we have various people coming in to deliver speeches on the first day. And then the second day, we'll be talking about digital trust. That's where the outdooring of PKI consortium will be taking place. That's the second day. And then for the third day, we have e-commerce, logistics, and then the e-transaction. That's where the conversation will be centered around. Then on the fourth day, we'll be having data exchange conversation. And then the fifth day, we have awards and dinner night.
That's to crown everything up, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a 5-day. I thought it was going to be the whole seven days.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe on Sunday we go to church.
Thanksgiving.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, awesome. So do I have to get a ticket? Is it free? Where is it happening? And the date?
You go to our website at nita.gov.gh. We have a link there that you can tap on and register. You can also register as an exhibitor. We are still open for exhibition and sponsorship.
Okay.
So you can register through that, or you send an email to info@nita.gov.gh.
Okay.
Or you can
info@nita.com.gh.
.gov.
Yeah. Okay.
You can also contact us on 0558 074654.
All right, awesome.
It's taking place at the Akyia International Conference Center from Monday to Friday next week. That's the 25th to 28th of August at the Akyia International Conference Center. And it's free. It's totally free. So we just go on our website and then sign up and then.
Sure. Thank you so much. You've been phenomenal this morning. I'll try and see if I could
You actually have to.
The second day, especially. Why? What's happening? item 30.
I will give you everything.
Okay, awesome. she just brought me there. But anyway, I've been having a conversation with representatives from the National Information Technology Agency. They're having their week-long celebration, celebrating ICT. Next week, it's happening at the Akyia International Conference Center. It's absolutely free. And so you'll be doing yourself a lot of disservice if you do not find yourself there. I've been having a conversation with Patrick Kelly at Tichobi. He is the head of IT standards, and Estina Achicha is the manager at the business services, and Aseye Nyaji is the legal manager. And we're still here on the AM show. We've got more coming right up. But anyway, make your dream home a reality with EcoBank. Step into your ideal home or transform your current space into one that truly reflects your style and comfort, all with the support from EcoBank. EcoBank has once again partnered with Joy News to bring you an exciting experience at the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. And this year's edition makes your journey to a comfortable modern home even more accessible and affordable. With EcoBank's Buy Now, Pay Later, you can easily renovate, upgrade, or furnish your home to suit your taste and lifestyle. So whether it's an elegant home decor, modern furniture, essential electronics like laptops and phones, or solar energy solutions, EcoBank has the right financing tailored to your lifestyle. From staying connected with the latest devices to embracing sustainable living, our flexible consumer loans, asset finance, and salary advance products are designed to help you bring your vision to life. So enjoy competitive interest rates, convenient repayment terms, and fast approval from a bank that understands your needs. Visit your stand and take the first step towards the home and lifestyle you deserve. Comfortable homes start with EcoBank, so be a part of it. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Let's take a break. When we come back, there's more right here on the AM Show. All right, you're welcome back. MFR is beautifully seated. We have some businesses to, take care of before we wrap up. But before that, are you looking to do things differently to level up your skills and get ahead in this challenging job market? Well, statistics show it's tough out there for university, graduates with only few landing jobs immediately after school. Now, they do different things. Doing things differently is what the Design and Technology Institute, DTI, is all about. Now, DTI offers programs ranging from precision, welding and fabrication design, innovation, graphic design, sound engineering, animation, photography, and a whole lot more, as well as entrepreneurship. Now, their programs are internationally recognized by the American Welding Society, Pearson, BTEC, and CTVET. So you can shine here in Ghana or anywhere else in the world. So if you're ready to do things differently and chart your path, check out DTI. Visit dtiafrica.com/admissions or call 054-169-3534. That's 054-169-3534 for more information. MFR.
All right, Karen, we're nearly done here, but quickly before that, a blessed birthday to Richmond Kabiru Alamu, Asset and Integrity Manager of Ghana Gas, and this is coming from two of your favorite guys, Kojo and Benjamin Brace, our friends here. Kojo was not here this morning, but since we should wish you a happy birthday, Mr. Alamu. Have a blessed one. We've got another one going to Abigail, right?
Yeah, Abigail Senema, who's a level 300 student of the University of Education in Winneba. And this is coming from a very good friend of yours and, of course, from Kojo Brace as well.
Absolutely.
So have an absolute happy birthday.
Well, we'd like to say thank you for joining us today. The AM Show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. We appreciate your company.
Absolutely.
Nola, say bye-bye and tell them to wait for Joy News Desk.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Yes.